The 2001 Ansett Cup, proudly brought to you by Ansett e-Check-In, coming soon to Adelaide. LG, life's good. And West End Draft.
It's been one of those perfect autumn days in Adelaide, like in Melbourne this morning, around about 27 degrees here, and we're expecting a big crowd for the Crows and the Bulldogs, two teams who have got a bit of a rivalry going. Hello, welcome to Adelaide and to Football Park. Yes, Adelaide versus the Western Bulldogs tonight. 8 matches this weekend in round 3 of the Ansett Australia Cup, and 7 of the matches are alive in terms of just who will play in next weekend's semi-finals. We look at the ladder here, and the Bulldogs can make it if they beat the Crows by 4 goals, and the Lions have a very narrow win over Carlton. So that's the magic number for them, about 23 to 24 points. The Crows can't make it, but they're playing for a bit. Graham Corns joins me, as he will throughout the year here. Graham, welcome. And there's incentive for both these clubs here.
Well, my word, Bruce, and the Crows fans have forgotten what their team looks like. They'll be keen to see them in action. Plus, they'll be keen to see them have a win. There's just been a few rumblings in Adelaide, given their performances. They've been away in Wellington, away at Optus Oval. It'll be good to see what they can do at Football Park.
Haven't played here since August 6 last year, so that's real withdrawal symptoms, isn't it? But they look stronger. You were at Optus last week and watched that match. They look stronger for Johnson and Rasciuto, and also Ben Hart back into the team, don't they?
Well, particularly Mark Rasciuto. He missed last week because of his brother's wedding. He's a new captain. It'll be good for him to have a go. Ben Hart, one of the vice captains, and Kane Johnson, such an important player for them. He just needs to stay sound. Adam Richardson, the other interesting player there, led the SANFL goal kicking in the last 2 years, made the Crows drafting with his work over summer, given his commitment to losing weight and showing that he was keen to play at this level. So you won't miss him. He's a very colourful looking figure out there. And
hopefully you won't miss number 2 there, because he's going to be an important player, we think, an Ansett future flyer, Evan Hewitt.
Ansett Future Flyers.
Well, Bruce, there's a lot of pressure on this young fella. There's a lot of people in Adelaide think he's going to come straight into the team, slot into the full forward area or the centre-half forward area and fix their forward line problems. Now, at North Melbourne, he played probably third fiddle behind Wayne Carey and Corey McKernan, maybe even behind Matty Capuana. So there's a lot of pressure on the young man's shoulders. I just hope there's not too much expectation and that weight of expectation doesn't crush him.
Well, it's his first match tonight for the Crows. Now, the Bulldogs have arrived pretty confidently. Number 3, such a key figure for them. The Crows have Mark Rasciuto as their new captain. Chris Grant, the new captain for the Bulldogs. They've got a bit of experience back tonight. This is not too far off their best team with Grant and Ellis back in.
Well, they're much travelled too. Cairns last week, Chris Grant made the trip but pulled up sore in the back and they didn't play him. Craig Ellis back after food poisoning. Look, they always give a contest, the Bulldogs. Terry Wallace has been able to extract the maximum football ability from his players. They're not particularly tall in defence, but they compete. They run strongly from defence. They're very skillful. They use the ball accurately, and they give their fans and their coach every opportunity.
Yeah, it should be a terrific match and a good crowd building up. Neil Curley will be down on the boundary, and we're working with Robbo tonight, so the sparks will be flying. And don't you think he's come up beautifully in 2001, Graham?
I can't believe what I've done to be working with the cream.
Well, if Robbo's the cream, I can't wait, that's for sure. We're going to take a break and it'll be the opening bounce after this.
It's hard being a lovebird in the 21st century, but this babe knows how to impress her man.
Norman likes a good magazine. She reckons a few extra tail feathers could be a good look.
So why?
That's one original chick.
Harry's Practice, Sunday.
Be warned, doctors say laughter is great for your health. So for the healthiest night of your life, join the rush to Comics Comedy Cellar and get a dose of the funniest comedy from the finest stand-up comedians in Australia. No Elvis or ABBA impersonators guaranteed.
Great party, although I had no idea it was fancy dress. There's Lenny the Lion. Hi. Fantastic costume. And Susie the Hyena. Wow. However, there's no disguising the unique taste of Schweppes. Ah, perfection. Hello, dear. Care for a drink?
It's me, George.
Cleaner, crisper Schweppes. Just a little more bite.
What was that?
The Lounge Sale. Be advised, don't buy any lounge suite until you see South Australia's largest lounge specialist, or you'll definitely pay too much. Up to 50% off and interest-free terms. But hurry, you better be quick. Discount Lounge Centre, Ranella, Parafield and Keswick.
On Popstars.
31 have made it this far.
Some of you won't see the end of the week, and some of you may even leave as early as tomorrow.
But who'll survive the culling camp?
No one ever said we play soccer. We're going to be dancing for the next 2.5 hours. I reckon I'm back on the bus.
The pressure's on.
Popstars Sunday.
Welcome back to Football Park. There will be a moment's silence here for the passing away of our greatest ever cricketer and a sporting genius, Sir Donald Bradman, who passed away on Sunday morning, February the 25th.
And truly great Australian, Sir Donald Bradman. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Yes, from Bowral to Ballarat and right around Australia. It has been a time to reflect this week, hasn't it, as we welcome you, Robbo. This great man who lived his last 65 years in this city and who I think affected everybody who loves sport in one way or another.
Absolutely, no doubt, Bruce. Any age, I think, right through.
And welcome, Robbo. It should be a terrific match.
Well, I think it's already been mentioned. Neil Curley I spoke to a few moments ago, and Graham Corns. The ground looks absolutely sensational, and a great game of footy we can look forward to, I'm sure.
And speaking of the King, he's down there right now, Curls.
How you going, Bruce? How are you? And everybody that's listening, watching. Well, perfect night. About 23 degrees. Slight breeze going to the left of screen. Not a goal-scoring advantage. Maybe 3 or 4 metres on the length of a kick. That's about all. But this promises to be a good game. I watched the Crows boys last week in Optus Oval. Their running game was back for the first half. Then they lost their way a little bit. The Bullies, they'll be well led by Darcy. I don't think the Crows have got a ruckman to hold Darcy in actual field play. They certainly will at the centre bounces. And, of course, you've got Liberatory starting on the bench tonight, which is unusual. This promises to be a damn good game of footy because the Bullies, judging by the atmosphere in the rooms, are going to be fair dinkum.
Thanks, Neil. They always are, I think, don't you? I mean, that's their trademark, isn't it?
They just keep having a go, Bruce, don't they? They give every effort for their coach, and it's a great example of how to, if you remain competitive and keep getting up and getting to the contest, you always give yourself a chance of winning.
It's almost like they're on the edge. As we look at Jarman, he looks pretty lean. 15 is Adam Richardson. He is a cult figure in this town. He's won the Ken Farmer medal the last 3 years for West Adelaide, kicked 100 goals in a season, and at 26 years of age, a bit like Troy Wilson in West Coast, who's 29, I think, making his AFL debut. And there's Clark, who is an important player with Goodwin and also Rashudo.
Very important for Matthew Clark, not only to dominate and get his hand to the ball around the grounds, in the bounces and in the centre. He's got to take some marks, and if he can improve his game, it is that. He just has to take a few more marks around the ground. Luke Darcy, of course, back after that knee injury, which slowed him up towards the end of last year. No operation required, just the strained cruciate ligament, which has healed properly. A good, promising footballer.
So the Doggies to the left and the Crows to the right, and there's some talent in this centre square when you go around with McLeod and Rashudo and Goodwin and West and Ramiro and Dimatina and Darcy and Clark. So Jarman off half back. There's the first surprise tonight. The kick to centre half forward was a pretty good one, as you would expect from him. West handball good, and the Doggies are away here. Robbins took it from Kingsley Hunter, and Robbins has kicked to about half forward. At the back, the contest coming from McGregor, and a boundary throw in. So there's a few positional changes from last year. McGregor down back. I know he's played there in the first couple of weeks.
He's played well at centre half back, and I see Craig Ellis contesting that ball at half forward there. Kingsley Hunter mopping up in defence also for the Bulldogs.
Just starting on the bench for the Bulldogs, Hahn, Hudson, Jean Siracusa, Penny, Liberatore and Fuller. And we'll go through the Adelaide boys shortly as the Bulldogs get the ball all the way into their full forward area. McGregor has the ball, and that's Patrick Wiggins there in the foreground, just running away from McGregor. Beautiful night. It's already been mentioned, just about perfect for footy. It was hot when I arrived earlier this afternoon, but it is just about perfect. Now Mark Stevens for the Crows, kicks it back into the middle of the ground. Rodron gets the handball away. Just love the look of this fellow. I think if Australian football could see a full season out of Andrew McLeod, we'll be excited. Laddams in towards the forward pocket area, punched away from Richardson. He goes back after it again, gets the handball back. Opportunity for Laddams once again. He kicks with the left into the front of the goals. Welsh was in front, couldn't take the mark. The ball falls. Bode a chance. Underneath all that, there's real struggle there on the full forward line. Still Bode. Now Welsh. Left foot snap at goal. And the mark has been taken by Grant for the Bulldogs.
So playing down back. Good kick to Darcy. Neil Curley's comments were interesting, weren't they? That he didn't think the Crows had anyone that could go with this man around the ground.
Well, it would be interesting to run a ruckman with him too. There was some school of thought one of the Crows ruckmen should actually just run with Luke Darcy.
Matthew Robin might be the man because he's got the ability to do that. Murphy's little kick to Smith, to Garlick. Garlick short, cut off. McLeod. Robbo's already sung his praise. Is that not such a good kick? He looked up, there was nowhere to go really, and Robbins has taken the mark.
He's been in good form, Matthew Robbins.
I think he's a rated player, Graham. Cox nearly got himself into strife. Or Ellis is certainly in strife. Edwards, now Hunter, breaks away, gets the handball wide. Back it comes to West. West across the ground. Good kick by Scott West. And the mark has been taken by Murphy. He's a long way out. He's right on centre wing. Just kicks it in short. Adelaide have the numbers 3-2. McLeod caught, but got the handball away. Bickley kicks the ball forward. It'll land at about right half forward. Punched away, back towards the middle of the ground. Good contest between Garlick and Goodwin. Garlick wins out. Could have gone to the right. Came across to his left and then kicked it a little bit too far there for Eagleton, who was looking rather dejectedly as the ball bounced away from him over for a throw-in, just slightly forward of centre wing, favouring the Bulldogs.
Right, interchange for Adelaide. Scher, Byrne, Perry, Johnson, Biglands and Gallagher.
So Kane Johnson starts on the interchange.
Just easing him into the game, Bruce. I think they're concerned about the soft tissue injuries he's had.
Laddams to Rashuto. Good mark in the front there.
Well, that's what you have to do if you're going to be a competitive forward line player, and that's what the Crows coaching staff are asking of Evan Hewitt. Play in front, compete, and you'll get your share of marks.
And then from about 52 metres, the kick to the pocket, and uncontested in the moment. Richardson's got it.
Beautiful body weight there by Richardson.
Well, he's a full forward. He's looking to pass off, but you wouldn't do that, would you? Not from 15 metres.
Well, he's a natural left footer, Graham, by the look of it, and it certainly favours him in this position. He could go even further back and maybe run around and have a pot it.
Graham, first look at Hewitt was pretty good.
Very good effort, Curls, and we'll give him some confidence, and plus the Crows fans some confidence.
Good look at the angle here. So just missing a behind. So.
Well, he didn't look confident from the time he took the mark. Now, somebody's got to tell him that at this level, if you're a full forward, you take a mark within 15 or 20 metres, you think of nothing else other than kicking the goals, regardless of the angle.
Want me to send the runner out?
I think Gary might do that.
Well, no matter how old you are, you can still get a little bit toey, and obviously that might be going through his mind. Rashudo has marked the kick in. And Mark Rasciuto is within scoring range. Adelaide have got the first score, the behind kick by Richardson just a moment ago. Opportunity here for Mark Rasciuto to kick the first goal of the game. Very experienced campaigner at this level now, Mark Rasciuto. Player on the mark, about 40 metres out. Beautiful kick by Rasciuto. First goal of the Crows.
For years, animals have been trying to tell us something.
Hey, honey.
And now they can.
Sunday.
Don't fix me. I won't look at another female ever. Yo, baby.
Eddie Murphy has heard the call of the wild.
I'm cute, I'm ferret, and I make 500 babies a year. Get back in your cage.
For the first time.
I'd like to go in manually.
What's he saying?
You don't want to know.
Hello. Do a little dance. Make a little love. Stop talking to me. Get down tonight.
The smash hit Dr. Dolittle, Sunday on 7.
Ben Hart off, being spoken to by the doctor now.
Ooh. He had a hamstring problem, girls. Is he looking for it?
So Ben Hart's off the ground for Kane Johnson. So the doctor talking to Ben Hart. So he's had a problem with his hamstring. Missed out last weekend. Clark probably just won it. Dimartina. So the Crows through Rasciuto, the opening goal. West handball. Nicely weighted for Cox. To Ellis. Hasn't played a game at this level since June last year. So it's been a long time out. Kane Johnson, who played very little football early last year and is so important to them.
I apologise to Craig Ellis's mum and dad if they're watching this game thinking he's playing at centre-half forward, as I called him early in the game, but he's definitely back in the back pocket on Evan Hewitt at the moment.
Clark to Laddams to Rasciuto at centre wing.
Rasciuto, who kicks the ball beautifully. Got a little bit too much height there. Good mark taken by Ellis.
Second Wayne Carey.
No, man in front, Curls. It was a good effort by Hewitt. The Crows fans are screaming, but Ellis is in front. Ooh, dear me. Perhaps a bounce.
When you watch the replay, Graham, Hewitt came from behind and had a definite, certain amount of purchase on the ball.
He had plenty of it, actually.
But the umpire decided on the man in front. Now the Bulldogs across their half-back line. This is Paul Dimartina. I made reference to he and his brother, both with tremendous persistence to play at this level. And I watched Andrew playing last week with the Pies, and Paul has been terrific for the Bulldogs. Under pressure, the Crows just behind the wing. That was Clark. Jarman there. Jarman playing on Wiggins at the moment. Looks as if he may be playing out of the back pocket, Darren Jarman.
There was some suggestion before the game he'd play half-back flank, and it looks exactly where he's starting.
It's actually Harrison that he's picked up there on the full forward line. Goodwin, handball away. Rasciuto caught. Tackled by Contessa. And being penalised. He did have a very good chance to get rid of it. Contessa takes the free kick, kicks it forward. Oh, strong mark. McGregor across the full-back line. Stevens, handball away, chance for Goodwin.
Decides to go long. He had Jarman short, but he's gone to Johnson. West makes the contest. Rodman, cleverly done. Wide to Kane Johnson. Half-back. He's got a couple inside. He may have to go to Jarman. He uses him. Normally so constructive. Clever kick in the end to Clark at centre wing.
Number 1.
So the Crows by 7 points. Johnson down the line.
Yes, Neil Curley obsessed with how many marks Matthew Clark can take tonight.
So he's counting out loud. Johnson's kicked to centre half forward. Keep us informed, Curls. And Chris Grant chops it off. Then gets himself into a bit of trouble. That's a good kick, though. He found Ramiro wide. Ramiro stops and props and then delivers towards Garlick. Beat a couple there. Rodman, well done. McGregor's handball, not so good. Harrison, Rasciuto, high tackle, free kick at half-back for the captain. He started pretty well, hasn't he?
He started very well, but the Bulldogs are winning the ball. They're just using it too short and not precisely enough. That's stopping them going forward into their 50 often enough. Welsh.
Gee, it was a good front-on tackle, wasn't it? He wasn't to be intimidated in any way whatsoever, Jose Ramiro.
Is he ever?
And both boys have played a bit of football in the colours of the Kangaroos, both Jose Ramiro and Scott Welsh. This is Rasciuto once again. A little bit too emphatic there, the kick for Welsh. Bickley there to help Welsh out. And then the kick goes forward, but quite safely marked at half-back by Craig Ellis. Short kick, Grant.
The game just being played between half-back and half-forward for both sides at the moment. neither team wanting to move the ball through the centre of the ground and penetrate over half forward.
Looks like Ben Hart there in the top left-hand corner of the screen on the exercise bike. Graham, what's that all about, maybe?
Well, he missed last week with a hamstring strain. Let's hope he hasn't done the same thing.
I can tell you, a slight leg injury may not take any further part in the game.
Thanks, Neil. So that's not good news for the Crows. He's been so durable. The free kick to Hewitt. So this is seen as a pivotal duel early, isn't it? Ellis versus Hewitt. They've both had a bit of it.
Yeah, well, taking front spot, and he's done well there. Craig Ellis, food poisoning last week. Will he have some effect of that this week?
Jarman a chance. He decides to go into the left. He's still some hope, but he hasn't done all that well in the end, and Hunter's taken the mark. The other thing with Ellis, Graham, he hasn't played since June last year, so he's got to be a bit rusty.
He just needs to have a run, and I think that's all Terry Wallace will expect of him tonight, but it's been a good contest so far.
So Bickley just giving Grant a bit of a shove. Rowan Smith, he's off. He gets away. Bickley hangs on, can't quite get him. Back to Grant. Grant to Garlick. Doesn't take the mark. Welsh, Garlick, a little bit high. West in there. Well done, though. I think it was Goodwin who ripped it off him, and then Stengline's high kick. Crows have got numbers. Terrific effort by Chris Grant to spoil Hewitt, who's presenting himself very well. Bowed all over Smith. McLeod's handball out to nobody in particular. Eagleton, some good stuff here. Ball still to be won. McLeod trying to do some magic. Ball ricochets to Contessa. Back to McLeod. Taken a bit high, but he went down. They're all over him. Ball up. Gee, that was a good minute of footy, wasn't it?
Well, it's only March, but the intensity is as great as you'd ever expect.
Footy was hard to get and hard to control, wasn't it?
You just love that. Both teams intent. I'd just like to see the Bulldogs a bit more penetration, a bit more direction in their kicking. They're winning it, but they're not using it.
Umpire throws the ball in the air. Clark gets it down to Bode. Bode goes to Rashudo, finding it just a little difficult to control. To Jarman. Jarman to wait the kick in towards full forward. Richardson in front. Couldn't take the mark. Just Rowan Smith not able to control it. Richardson, Scotty West. Oh, no space, is there? Absolutely pressure applied by the Crows forwards. First class.
Well, it was good to see Adam Richardson. He had the mark spoiled. It was well spoiled, but he followed it up on the ground, held the ball in the area, even against someone like Scotty West, who's one of the really great ball winners of the competition.
Clark gets it down. Dimartina for the Bulldogs. Getting away with a football from half-back as Eagleton thumps it long. The beautiful left foot kick by Eagleton. The crumbs gathered by Jarman. He's just mopping up beautifully at the moment. McGregor across the half-back line, and Robran takes the mark.
Good kick wide. Stengline running hard. Gets him there. He's had a good start to this year. Goals are hard to get. Bode running hard. Chris Grant, well done. He had to keep his eye on it, and he has found the line.
Floating back into defence. Is there a better player than Chris Grant? Matthew Bode had plenty of space. The kick wasn't bad, but Chris Grant anticipating, put the body back and just punched it out of bounds.
Just wonder where he's going to play most of his footy this year. Will it be back or forward, Grant? He's such a key player for them. Rashuto, Rodbran and Cox. Johnson, well done. Very well done. To Jarman, who's playing a real sweeping role, isn't he? And a lovely kick. If somebody told you Wanganeen would be in the pocket for Port and Jarman at half-back for the Crows 12 months ago, you'd say, come on. But footy's changing daily and weekly as it evolves. And players are tried in different places. Hewitt, this is a good start for him to fall forward. Richardson, a couple of players had to go with him. Curley. That's not Neil Curley, that's Todd Curley versus Scott Welsh. Welsh in the pocket. He had it for a while. Scotty West was onto him in the boundary throw-in.
Just look how hard Scotty West works to get back into defence and tackle a big player like that. He's playing in the midfield, working very strongly. You just have to love his work ethic.
Gee, Welsh a bit lucky he wasn't penalised. He had a chance to get rid of that, and it was a good tackle by Welsh, by Scotty West. Umpire allowed it to go on. This is McLeod. Snapshot at goal. Just lands a little short. Under pressure, Harrison right on the line.
Graham, you may recall that last time these two teams met here, Grant destroyed the Crows as centre-half forward. Looks like they're just easing him into the game slowly as a run-around player role.
Just wonder whether he's confused in his role, though.
Bulldogs at full-back. Robbins. Now Harrison. Short kick. Mark is taken by Eagleton. He's just outside his defensive 50. Goes past the leading Murphy, and Jarman playing the percentages, knocks the ball away from Ellis. He's been sensational, Darren Jarman. 6 possessions playing across the half-back,
well, now
maybe full-back line.
Sorry, Robbo. Now it looks like Craig Ellis has gone forward. He's picking up Darren Jarman.
So Clark and Darcy. Ball to the front. Dimatina, who's got the job to run with Rasciuto. Laddams, quick hands to Rasciuto. Rasciuto's kicked the centre half forward. Probably could have gone for it there, Curly. Decided to build it away. Edwards has been quietish. Well done, though. Handball by Goodwin. Rasciuto did really well there. Couldn't take it, so he paved the way for Bode and then Gully. And what do you mean by Chris Grant being confused? He's had 5 kicks, 2 handballs. He's one of the great champions of the game.
Yeah,
what do you mean being confused?
Confused in his role, because where's he going to play? We have this argument every year. Is he a centre-half back? Is he
back at centre-half forward now?
Centre-half forward, and I think you've just got to decide on it, because he is a great champion, but the Bulldogs haven't won a flag with as great a player as he is in their team.
McLeod to Cox. I guess it's only been in the last 18 months that they've pushed him more back, haven't they? And he's still their key forward over the last few years. A kick wide, he's down the play.
He's still one of the best forwards in the competition, and I know it's very tempting when you're under pressure, when the game is slipping away from to throw your best player in defence. But when Chris Grant is forward, he's going to pose a problem for any defence in any competition.
Well, they're playing Brad Johnson as a full forward, a short full forward. He kicked 6 goals in the opening round of the Ansett Australia Cup. He hasn't touched it so far tonight.
Well, it's barely been inside 50. The Bulldogs have had plenty of the play, but they're just going too short and too wide.
They can't break free, though, Graham, can they? The Crows are really applying a lot of pressure, particularly by their forwards.
But unfortunately, they're not hurting the Bulldogs on the scoreboard either.
Gee, I don't know whether you can afford the luxury of leaving a bloke in the goal square when he's been one of your champion ball getters and just creator as Brad Johnson. Surely, well, we'll wait and see what happens in the next quarter or so. The Crows around the middle of the ground. It was McLeod that swooped on it, got the ball forward. Gee, a tough contest there. Curley breaks away. Edwards wider. This is Stengline. Kick smothered. Quickly playing on as Rowan Smith gets the ball back to, it might have been Curley that kicked that ball wide. Gathered in the finish by Garlick. Couldn't do much about that, Simon Garlick. So the boundary umpire will throw it in just forward of centre wing.
Yeah, we probably hit pretty high there, but unlucky for the Bulldogs player not to get the free kick. Inside 50, Adelaide 9, Bulldogs 2. 17 minutes of play.
Just 7 points the difference on the scoreboard. Dimatina's kick to half forward. Doggy's still yet to score here. Johnson, this half-back line for the Crows has been impassable. That's a terrific kick out wide to Bode. Bode delivers to centre half forward, not bad. The numbers though with the Doggies. Harrison just missed it, missed his target. Bickley with some courage pushes forward, ill-directed kick. He had Bode wide and well shot, but is it coming back to Bickley for a high one?
And that wind is picking up a little bit. It's getting gradually stronger with the southerly.
So the Crows into the breeze now?
They're into the breeze, yes. It's going to left of screen.
So Bickley, outside his range, obviously. He's a couple of kicks away. Just pushes it up. Not a bad kick. Waited for Richardson. Front spot got him. It was a good kick in the end, wasn't it?
Well, it was a good kick, and the breeze held it slightly up. Richardson in front. He only had a metre. It wasn't a vice-like grip, but in front, good enough to get it on the second, third grab. Now confidently back and kick the goal is what he has to do.
His hands weren't strong there, Graham, were they?
Because he's still finding his way.
Answer my question.
No.
Kicks from about 35 metres out. Has he got it? It's pretty close. Might have just missed as I waited and waited. Not sure. So he's had 2 behinds. Well, he hasn't quite got the tread raised, but
no.
He might be on the way. 8-0.
I just think it's the uncertainty of your role at this level. He knows he's on trial. He knows his AFL career is in the balance. He's got to be really confident about it. That's a great kick.
Darcy marks the kick in. Got the handball away. Kicked by Rowan Smith. Taken by Murphy. Hand pass missed its target, but Ramiro able to get it back to Rowan Smith. Now Johnson. Johnson and Crowell. The ball hits the ground, and eventually the Crows kick the ball away from their full back line. That was Mark Stevens, and finds the safety of the boundary line. It'll be thrown in about 35 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal. The kick coming in from Rowan Smith, probably a little blind when he kicked it.
It was good movement, though, by the Bulldogs. That's the way they have to move the ball forward.
Not good for a smaller full forward, though, was it? Up against what looks to be Crowell certainly has a height advantage back there in the goal square.
Andrew Crowell has played the first couple of games at full back. He didn't expect to do it 2 months ago, but he's got great pace, good strength.
Goodwin's handball didn't go far. Wiggins over the top of it. One of the newcomers for the Doggies. And Rashudo very hard there for a boundary throw. And there he is, 21. That's Patrick Wiggins. His brother Simon is with Carlton at the moment. So 2 youngsters from Tassie trying to make their way in the AFL.
A pretty good year, mainly with Werribee last year. So it's his opportunity to grab an AFL spot.
Dimartina only as far as Ramiro, and then Ramiro wide. Now Johnson and Crowell with that height advantage, and then confidently takes Johnson on and releases Stengline. Needs a good bounce, he got it. So some rebound footy here from the Crows. Stengline's kick wide, Hewitt and Harrison. So Harrison back at centre half back on Hewitt. He's got pretty good movement, Harrison. Did well to hold it up. Edwards' little give was good. Robin clever. Gee, that was a good kick.
Well, it was a good kick, but it was very good work from Andrew Crowell. He's too tall, as you say, for Brad Johnson, and he took him on with his pace. He's the second fastest player at the Crows behind Andrew McLeod, and for such a big man playing in defence, that's a great asset to have. It was a great clearing dash and some good work from the Crows to get it to Matthew Bode.
So he'd be jumping a bit here too, wouldn't he, Matthew Bode, former Port Adelaide player. With the power, left foot for goal, and he's missed it. Gee, Neil, you've been with us the last couple of weeks. How many points have we seen at that side of the ground?
Yes, they're kicking the ball a bit too high there, both Richard and Bo, because the wind's dragging across the face.
So Paul Hudson comes on for Craig Ellis, and the Crows doing no damage here on the scoreboard, yet they are on top. It's a 1-3-0. Hunter's lazy kick. Robbins had a terrific opening quarter. He's a bit stiff there, I think.
What? Gee, that was...
And Cox has got the free kick.
You'd have 120 free kicks paid in a game of football if you keep paying those. Cox can go short. Player on his own was Ramiro to Garlick. Garlick hooks the kick. Getting back and judging it a little better was Crowell. Couldn't take the mark. And a snapshot at goal for the Bulldogs came in from Johnson. First score. Gee, it's a long way into the quarter, isn't it? There's only less than 16 seconds left in the first term, and the Bulldogs' first score a behind.
But at least there was some direction about the last 2 thrusts. The Crows just a little bit big on that last line of defence.
Kick in has been marked by Crowell. He's just outside his defensive 50. Kicks in the direction of Rashudo, and quite easily over the top was Cox to punch it away. 1-3 to 1 behind. Adelaide lead by 8 points. Real struggle, as Graham Corns has mentioned earlier in the term. A lot of the play between the respective half-back lines. Oh, Boat was up high, couldn't take the mark, and the siren sounds to end the first term. Adelaide lead by 8 points at quarter time.
Well, it was a good contest from both teams. Adelaide had more of the play, went into 50 more often, haven't hurt the Bulldogs on the scoreboard, and that's going to be Adelaide's biggest worry. They'll have the breeze next quarter, probably need to be much more direct.
So that's the situation at quarter time. Rashudo, the goal scorer, it's 9-1 for the Crows. Goal scorer, it's 9-1 for the Crows.
It's all about finding a balance.
Grow a brain, huh?
About the patient, not the doctor.
You're supposed to support my decision. Well, I don't.
When you lose focus, accidents happen.
Just keep going.
Tuesday on All Saints.
There's still a lot of people who are not aware that we have female pilots. In Irianjaya, to support the drought relief, we were taking food out to the local villages and supplying seedlings and small fish to restock their areas. For me personally, it's incredibly challenging and incredibly exhilarating.
Can I get a taste of the action? Well, I fill the big fish's boots. Can the Blues make their mark this season?
And the Bombers go back to back. Back to back.
How will I go in the blue and white?
What we want to know is what colour Bryce's hair will be. all the answers, action and excitement. Don't miss the Ansett Cup.
Gotta go, get away and go to the caravan camping and off-road show.
Innovations, demonstrations, seminars, destinations. Browse around in air-conditioned comfort. Try the four-wheel drive test track. See the pick of the crop recreational vehicles. Live bands, family fun.
The biggest show yet.
Wednesday, February 28th to Sunday, March the 4th. Royal Adelaide Showgrounds, Wayville.
Gotta go to the caravan camping and off-road show.
This is not, I repeat not, how to burn a CD with an A&R computer. Here's how you do it. Get a U-Butte new super powerful PC with a CD burner installed, plus a 17-inch monitor and a colour printer and a scanner, internet connected, and stacks of software all ready to go for a sizzling $24.99. $24.99 with a burner. That's hot value. At Port Adelaide and Melrose Park.
Great party, although I had no idea it was fancy dress. However, there's no disguising the unique taste of Schweppes. Hello, dear. Care for a drink? It's me, George. Schweppes, just a little more bite.
When I left school, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. But here I am. I've just turned 18, the Army's trained me, and I'm on over $34,000 a year. It's not bad at all for someone my age, eh?
Revenge threatens to break one couple apart.
You look like trash.
And a surprising revelation.
Something's about to go down.
That could change everything. On Temptation Island, Tuesday, 9:30 on 7.
Quarter time here at Football Park. The Crows lead in a low-scoring game. Rashido, the goal scorer. It's 9-1. 1-3 to a point. Now, the other match tonight, neither of these teams can make the semi-finals. It's a quarter time at Colonial, the Saints and West Coast. There is a replay of this match for a lot of stations, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. Suffice to say, there's a few more goals scored there than there have been here, but we're not telling you anything as we have a look at the Crows and...
we'd like to.
Also the Bulldogs. So you're saying that Hudson may go into Jarman here,
I think it's not a bad mood. Darren Jarman started on the half-back flank and he was just picking up kicks at will, and Paul Hudson, who we know is a very dangerous goal kicker, started on the bench. Terry Wallace has seen that move. He's taken Craig Ellis, who ended up on Jarman, off the field. He's put Hudson on, so now Jarman has to be accountable for Paul Hudson.
So the Crows have got a couple of big days coming up here. So for their members and their fans, Sunday, March 18, 2 o'clock to 5, a big family day. And then Sunday, Arvo with the footy, April 1, 2001 at Football Park. And the sponsorship number for the Crows is 08, that's the area code here, 8440 6625. Mark Micken, the assistant coach, is down with the King, Neil Curley.
Thanks, Bruce. Well, your number 4, Matty Clark, he's dominating.
Yeah, he started well, got his hand on the ball and gave our small players a first look at it, and we were pretty good around those areas, I thought, in the first quarter.
And your forwards are working hard to keep the ball in the area?
Yeah, it wasn't all that clean. We got a fair bit in there and not as much reward as we would have liked, but we'll see if we can tidy that up.
Evan Hewitt, not bad up front?
Yeah, looked good, played in front and made a real contest, so we're pretty happy with him.
All the best.
All right,
back to you, Bruce.
Good on you, Neil, with Mark Micken. So the Crows on top, but not much on the board, though. Only a goal in it.
They've had so much of the play, but did not hurt the Bulldogs on the scoreboard. With the breeze this quarter, it's pretty important they do that. The Bulldogs, on the other hand, winning the ball okay, but just giving it up between centre and half forward.
I think, Bruce, you've noticed Luke Penny come off the interchange bench to start, and Brad Johnson, well, he just looks more comfortable. He's out there on centre wing on the far side of the ground to start the second term.
You can see him in the background there as good crowd here give a pretty fair roar for the first week of March in this third of the Ansett Cup games. Darcy and Clark, they both missed it. Garlick, now here's Johnson. McLeod, bit of class there, and then back to West with a torpedo. Darcy did well to bring it down. Contessa. West kept his eye on it. Laddams held him up pretty well. Building it back is Dimatina. Pushing forward again, Stenglein, and then Stevens off the ground, wanting the boundary. Ramiro with him, hasn't gone out yet. It has now, boundary throw-in.
He's like a new recruit, Mark Stevens, for the Crows. They're playing him in defence, right on the last line of defence in the back pocket. Missed so much of last year with knee injuries and other injuries. He's a very good player.
He's picking up Luke Penny here. So Penny going forward. Clark. Good tackle by Dimatina. Then Edwards found some space to McLeod, to Rasciuto. Say that a few times over a year, wouldn't you? Rasciuto's long kick to centre half forward. G. Harrison did well there against Hewitt.
He's a very versatile player, isn't he?
Ramiro, certainly.
Yep, he's out there, Robbo, looking for him. So Ramiro at centre wing.
Another very good player for the Bulldogs, and gives them a lot of opportunities, Jose Ramiro. Kick coming in has been taken by Johnson. Already just looks that little bit more comfortable. I know he's kicked 6 goals in a game at full forward, but put him under the hammer, because the big defenders, especially if the ball comes in high, they just sit on him.
Oh, 50 metres against there. Tyson Stenglein dropping back in front of big Patrick Wiggins, and maybe Patrick should have just crushed the pack a little bit there. And well, he was under all sorts of pressure, wasn't he, from Andrew Crowell?
Short kick by Stenglein has been taken by Johnson. He wastes no time and kicks it directly towards full forward. Puts the defence under enormous pressure. Robbins is there for the Bulldogs. Kicks with the left, bounces, and eventually Ramiro out there. He's deep at left half back. He can go short, and Johnson already has had a couple of possessions at the start of the second term. Brad Johnson for the Bulldogs, just behind the wing. Bulldogs still searching for their first goal. Kick forward, Hudson, who started on the interchange bench, and just making Darren Jarman wonder, has he got an opponent? Yes, Darcy in towards Grant, and Grant, who started in the back half, now at half forward, has marked well within scoring range.
While we're waiting, boys, interchange for the Bulldogs. Murphy, Hahn, Danny G, Penny, Ellis, Liberatore and Fuller.
Now for his mum and dad, that's Daniel Giansiracusa.
You got him. Good call.
But we're watching Chris Grant go for goal for the Bulldogs. Well done by Chris Grant. He's kicked the Bulldogs' first goal.
Up to 70,000 thoughts every day. Eyes which can differentiate between 10 million different colors. Hearing that detects frequencies between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And 656 muscles, 17 of which are moving when he smiles. When we develop digital technology, we know who it's for. LG, life's good.
So the two new captains, Chris Grant and Mark Rasciuto, are the goal scorers in the match so far. And Doggies back within a couple of points. Clark. Ramiro's been busy. So's Rasciuto. Kicks to half forward over the top of Goodwin and Cox. Well done, Crows paddling forward. Scott West getting back to Robbins. Controlled it wide and found Dimatina at half back.
How often do you see Scott West getting back there to support his half-back flankers? And now he'll be where the ball falls on the wing. Well, not now, because they're swapping the play.
They'll have to switch it across, the boys.
And they've done it reasonably successfully. Curley had to arch his back, comes away, and then has to come back this way. So they've gained about 30 metres after all that. Dimatina's kick, he punched it hard and low. It was a good one to Contessa.
It was a very good mark. Mark Bickley putting him under all sorts of pressure.
So the Bulldogs look sharp here, don't they, at the start of the second term. Contessa's kicked the centre half forward. Wiggins was a flyer. Laddams couldn't quite get a grip of it. Handball out wide was okay. Came from Welch. Rasciuto good to Goodwin. And then Goodwin straightens up and kicks to half forward. Little shove in the back. So it couldn't have been Welch at the back a moment ago because he was up there as the ball comes wide now to Cox. Cox with plenty of time. Little kick to Dimatina. Back to Cox. Cox at centre wing.
He had West in the middle, and instead he's gone into a disputed situation at half forward. Gee, they could have made something out of that, because Scotty West had his arm in the air, appealing for the kick, and obviously not seen by Cox.
There's just a few signs here for the Bulldogs that they've lifted and looking to go more directly. Maybe Chris Grant has and Wiggins has straightened them up in the forward line a little bit.
Ian Perry just preparing to come onto the ground for the Crows. Kick forward. That's a pretty good mark.
Oh, who to?
It's the youngster Wiggins.
Who to? He's in front.
He was in front again, Graham, and if the umpires are consistent with that, you've got no argument, I'm sure.
He's done really well. He's run back with the flight of the ball. There's no doubt the Crow's got a good serve of it, but both players claim it. Man in front ends up with it, and the umpire says it's yours.
Well, this is Patrick Wiggins for the Bulldogs going for their second goal. They were goalless in the first term, so the chance for the Bullies to get off to a good start in the second term. Wiggins kicks for goal, and he's popped it through. What do you think, Bruce?
I reckon he had a fair bit of it, Wiggins. I would have paid it to him. I think he touched it first. Crowd certainly got his hands on it after that, but it was a hard decision. It really was. It was a good effort by Wiggins, though, wasn't it?
Yep.
Edwards kicks to half forward, and maybe Crowd can learn a lesson from that. Perhaps occasionally you do have to punch it away when you're back there, but Harrison goes to the pocket. The other thing with Crowd, that he's been playing on Johnson in the opening term and been too good for him overhead, and suddenly he does have a taller opponent.
Fellas, things certainly are changing in footy. Once most of the scoring was done with the breeze, tonight it's being all done into the breeze.
Well, we won't write it down in hard pen yet, Neil, because it's still pretty early, but West's little handball didn't go far. Bickley, Rodman with a chance. It sits now. He's got some time. He hurries it a bit, kicks to centre half forward, and the mark taken by Harrison, who's done well here on Hewitt.
Fair comment, Bruce, that I think Matthew probably didn't realise that he had a little bit more time to kick the ball in. And it's also important for the forwards. Bulldogs build out wide on centre wing. Finishes with Hudson. He's a pretty good kick when he gets the ball near goal, Paul Hudson. And quite skillfully there off the left, gives Penny his first opportunity. Johnson again, fourth possession for Brad Johnson. Kicks in towards full forward, and Grant is marked. Not paid.
Play on.
It has been.
Should have been.
Not paid.
Had plenty of it.
Play on. Still the Bulldogs a chance in the pocket. Hudson tries to get the hand pass back. Cox, and he kicks it out on the full with the left.
Simon Cox saw the goals. He thought of a chance here, but did not have the pace.
Now, why wasn't this paid?
Held.
1, 2, knocked away. Fair enough by McGregor. Kick away towards the half-back area. Up high was Clark. Feeding it out wide was Johnson. Jarman over his left shoulder. Very well done. McLeod in front of Robbins has taken the mark.
And then releases Goodwin on the burst. Goodwin to full forward. He sprayed it a bit. In the pocket, Curley.
No, it's got,
The ball's got to go all the way back.
Free kick coming back to McLeod, is it?
It's right back on the wing too.
Okay, so way back on the wing to McLeod.
He said he was too far around off his mark when he played on.
But it was a mark, Curls. Why couldn't he play
That's
on?
right.
Well, the cohesion even between the umpires in the early part of the season, just leaving a little bit to be desired. Obviously, umpires not understanding there that the ball had to come all the way back.
But you can play on from the mark. There's no reason why it should have to come back.
Graham, your call about Hudson opposed to Jarman. This stage, Hudson 3 possessions, Jarman none.
Well, he's playing wide. They're keeping him wide out on that and using Paul Hudson.
Bickley round the corner. Richardson didn't take it cleanly. Handball. He was looking probably for Bode. Boundary throw in. Crows just struggling here a bit, aren't they? 1-3 to 2-1.
Yeah, not penetrating, and again we had the problem last week where they were coming wide around the flanks rather than hitting through centre half forward or hitting full forward.
Darcy, Clark, Bode, and also Contessa. Comes out the back to Bode, gets it back to Bickley, measures the kick to centre half forward. Perry! Nearly. Not quite. He's not bad at those. Johnson, who I reckon Robbo's pretty happy about the fact that he's had about 5 kicks in this quarter on the ball. Out wide, Stengline. Still Stengline run over the boundary line, boundary throw-in. And he gives his doggy opponent something to go on with, boundary throw-in.
Well, the thing about Brad Johnson is they don't mind moving him from forward pocket to the wing, and just occasionally their opponents get lost.
Boundary throw-in, left half forward for the Crows. McLeod trying to control the ball. That tackle's a little high, I thought. And the umpire has seen it that way. McLeod will take the free kick. Robbins was the offender. Robran has taken the mark. Now, Matthew Robran would certainly be a chance.
They want him to have a shot. The crowd are calling for the big torpedo punt.
Distance, no problem.
He is a beautiful kick. He decides to go short, and it hasn't quite paid off. There's a free kick being paid.
Free kick to Laddams.
Laddams has got the free kick awarded by umpire Brian Sheehan, who was about 40 to 45 metres away from the marking contest. But he decided from that area that there was an infringement against the Bulldogs player, and Laddams will shoot for goal.
It's been pretty impressive, Chris Laddams. Came off Essendon this last year, picked up by the Crows. He's played on the wing in these 3 games. Perhaps just lacks a little bit of penetration with his kick.
Well, say that, Neil. Kick at 65 metres and kick a goal.
There you go.
I'll tell you what.
Where is technology taking us? How will we see things in the future? LG Electronics, digital technology that's changing the way we view the world right now. Crystal clear picture, totally flat screen, power surround sound, Flatron, never seen before.
LG, life's good.
Crows by a couple of points. It was a good kick by Laddams, wasn't it? From on 50. Slight breeze behind him. Clark getting the tap as he has for most of the night.
Oh,
Johnson
well
was good, wasn't he? The back turn. Rashudo was bearing down on him. Ramiro's kick not far enough. Clark decided just to tap it down, but Darcy, his opposing ruckman, got hold of it. Stevens did well there not to give a free kick away. Bickley in close quarters. Jarman to release Goodwin through the centre. The Crows build here. Goodwin to centre half forward. Can Hewitt get into the frame? He's got them at the second go, and they've paid it. And I tell you what, if he goes back and kicks a goal, it will be a big play for this young fellow. And his first game for the Crows tonight.
Graham, could you tell if did Harrison start on Hewitt?
No.
So there's been 2 good moves by Wallace so far as Harrison and Wiggins.
Yeah, Ellis started there, but this is the way to play this ground. Hit centre half forward.
And Hewitt's a bit lazy, the kick, wasn't it? And never gave it a chance in the end. So he's missed. Be pretty nervous, though. He's had a reasonable start here. The Crows by 3 points. Cox to bring it in.
Well, he hasn't had much footy either, and maybe the legs are starting to feel a bit heavy, but there was no punch at all in that kick.
So the Bulldogs 2-1, trail Adelaide 2-4. Only 4 goals kicked in the game so far. Sorry, Curls, go.
No, it's okay. I was just looking at that contest with Clark and Darcy.
Edwards had the ball for a while. 5 Crows there. Good signs when you get the numbers around the ball. 50 metres from goal. Ramiro frustrated that he couldn't break away with the ball. And the umpire will call for a bounce about 52 metres from the Adelaide goal. Mitch Hahn, Fuller, Gian Siracusa warming up on the boundary line for the Bullies. Scott West got his left foot to it, kicked it back towards the Adelaide goal. Ramiro, little hand pass over the top. Chance for Rowan Smith, kicks the ball back to the middle. John will kick a goal, righty. Tried to kick it a little bit too far. It's a goal anyway.
So off half-back, Jarman kicks his first goal tonight. The Crows sneak away. They've kicked the last 2. Through Laddams and Jarman. Darcy up high in the centre. Goodwin was just hoping for a free there, wasn't he? But Scott West picks it up. It's won 4 of the last 6 best and fairest Scott West at the club. It's a great performance.
Yeah, immense talent in that centre circle.
Free kick to Darcy.
Oh, you can't.
Now curls.
They have curls.
Relax.
So Darcy wide to Ramiro. Now Johnson runs for him. He's a better kick, more penetrating. Johnson on the burst to full forward. Lovely weighted kick. Well done, McGregor, to get a fist to it. The pressure comes on Stenglein. He copped one around the head. The kick from Hudson, squeezing it out. Good effort, though, by Stevens. That was terrific. The handball to Johnson. Johnson, he knew he was under pressure and he found the line.
Just going back to that ruck infringement, I don't care who gets the free, but there's no free there. Like, it's not a free kick.
Yeah, but they've got new rules this year, Curls, about holding, and technically if you're holding, there'll be a free kick paid against you.
Tell you what, Curls would have been umpired out of the game in the old days against Bill Wedding. Would you imagine that?
They're both holding.
Actually, Mark Stevens did a pretty good job there in getting back and taking the mark. They got a little excited, the 2 Crows players, he and Kane Johnson in the finish. It looked a little ugly, but it's forced the ball out to where the umpire throws it in the air once again. Penny knocks it clear of the congestion. Ramiro getting quite a few possessions, Jose Ramiro. That's his 13th. Punched away back towards the half-back area. Well done, Stenglein. Gives Bickley the chance. He ducks and weaves and finds a path for himself, and then gives the opportunity down here for Perry to mark about 55, 60 metres from goal. Short kick, not good.
He tried to honour the full forwards lead, but he actually had an option in the goal scorer. He should have gone long.
Chance for the Bulldogs here. The ball is with Dimatina. Into the middle, Scott West. Wastes no time. Doesn't quite kick the ball with the impact that he was looking for either. Johnson on the defensive 50-metre line, tackled by Grant. Ball up.
Darren Jarman has really tightened up on Paul Hudson, hasn't he?
Well, he had to. Hudson had, I think, 3 or 4 possessions on him in the first 7 or 8 minutes.
So the Bulldogs in attack here. Just wanting a goal to close it up again. Clark won it. Only as far as Contessa. Contessa's high kick to full forward. Darcy just had to search for it a bit. Grant very cleverly to Ramiro. And then Ramiro just as cleverly kicks a goal. Well done.
Bigland's replaced Perry for that bad kick, I guess.
Thanks, Curls. Outstanding play by Ramiro in the first half here. We've still got 6 minutes left. He's had 15 possessions and has just kicked the Bulldogs' 3rd goal. Scott West gets it out wide, but it's chopped off here by Bickley. Kicked quickly to half forward. Now the contest gathered here by Rashudo. Across his left shoulder. Can't quite hook it back far enough. Registers a score just to behind. 3-5 to 3-1. Adelaide lead by 4 points.
2 Bulldog boys getting ready to come on. One is Ellis.
Coming off was Curley, and Fuller's the other one there, I think, Curls.
That's correct. He's gone back to the bench, though.
So a tall for a tall. Ellis back into the fray. Cox to kick in. Good kick too. Found Garlick.
Gee, not just a good kick, Robbo. It was a magnificent kick to find him on 50.
Just outside the defensive 50. Goes wide. Mark taken by Johnson. Johnson goes short. Harrison it is for the Bulldogs.
With his 3rd club, started with the Blues and then the Tigers. Finds Smith. Such a damaging player, and a long probing kick again to full forward. Darcy crowded well just to put enough pressure on him, and then Dimatina, hard tackle on him, and the umpire will call for a ball up, I think. McLeod putting the tackle on. So still pretty hard to get goals here, isn't it? With 3-3, 3-5 to 3-1 deep into the 2nd quarter. And now Fuller gets his first run for Contessa. So the Bulldogs making a few changes. Darcy, well done. Out wide to West. West will probably come back if he can get hold of it. He can't. He'll be disappointed. Johnson may have just taken his concentration away for a moment. calling for it. They're having a chat to one another.
It's a difficult ball to take, Bruce, the one at your feet. He just took his eyes off it and didn't get the body down and the hands down to it.
Clark winning most of the taps. Stengline. Gee, Bickley looks sharp, doesn't he? He's having a terrific match. The kick to half-forward centre wing. Ball comes out to Robran. Tries to back turn with the ball down low, but the pressure from Robbins was good. And again, a boundary throw in. So it's still pretty tight here, isn't it? 23-19.
You can't turn off a ball when you're trying to pick it up. You must stay on that straight line.
Crows got plenty out of Andrew McLeod in the first term, 7 touches. Only 3 so far in this second term. Speak of the devil, there he is. Andrew McLeod kicks it forward. In trouble, Ellis. Got the football, tackled by Biglands. Umpire decides on a ball up about 60, maybe 65 metres from the Adelaide goal. 3-5 to 3-1 Adelaide lead. Only 6 goals so far in this match in ideal conditions. Just a little breeze blowing to the end to which the Crows are kicking in this second term. Matthew Robran to fire at goal. Kicks it long. Down there is Johnson. 1 minute he's full forward. Then he's on the wing. Now he's taking a mark in the defensive goal square. Being asked to come back and have a couple of goes at kicking the ball eventually to Cox. Cox goes towards half-back. Ellis should take the mark. There's a player out wide. It's Dimatina making position.
Careful.
He was there for a while, but Ellis just being held up by Bickley. The kick eventually goes in towards the wing. Punched away, Robran gathers.
The punch coming from Stevens. Back to Goodwin. Back to Stengline. Slow handball. Wiggins gets it back. Garlick squeezes it out. Rashido in the right spot takes the mark. Wanted to give to Kane Johnson. Does now. Johnson's got Clark on his own. Clark takes his third mark. I think he's had another one, Curls, that you didn't count. Up and under, kick to centre half forward. Richardson almost. Ball to Laddams. Can Laddams kick a Rovers goal? He sprays it and misses the lot. He was in the right spot, but just couldn't get the hook on it.
Well, Curls, Matthew Clark's taken 3 marks. Come on, get off his back.
It's all uncontested.
Get off his back.
So Robbins in the back pocket, 3-5 to 3-1. Both teams just struggling to finish off some good work as they build towards goal. And Curley takes a mark right on the line.
Gee, you wouldn't want to get in Neil Curley's bad books, would you, Graham? He could cause you some damage.
I must say, though, when he stops criticising and worrying about you, that's when you really worry.
There's another one for him. He got the ball from Stevens, did Matthew Clark, and he's taken the mark on the forward end of the square. Kicks it in towards full foot. Oh, Richardson had it written all over, the name written all over it. Robran over the left shoulder. Matthew Robran bounces it through for a behind.
Gee, any sort of key position player must be able to hold those marks.
Well, he would be aware of it, Curls. I guess it's the confidence of playing consistent footy or just trying to make your mark.
Well, here's another new player for Adelaide. Matthew Sher has taken the place of Bode, and we've got 2 minutes left in the second term. This is Johnson. Johnson from 50 metres. Brad Johnson will kick a goal for the Bulldogs, their 4th.
Up to 70,000 thoughts every day. Eyes which can differentiate between 10 million different colours. Hearing that detects frequencies between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And 656 muscles, 17 of which are moving when he smiles. When we develop digital technology, we know who it's for. LG, life's good.
Graham, it just goes to show you how an easy drop mark can hurt you badly.
So one end, Richardson dropping the mark at centre half forward, and Johnson at the other end. He's had 9 kicks in this quarter. So the Doggies in front. Gee, West taken high, no free kick. Did well to get it to Garlick, and then Garlick's penetrating kick. Stevens underneath it did a wonderful job. Almost paid the mark. Grant over the top with him. McGregor, Wiggins. Ball comes out. Fuller trying to get involved. 44 having a run. He's on their rookie list, the Bulldogs. McGregor just took 1 or 2 steps too much and was cut off by Ellis in the end. Ramiro, still Ramiro, Rashido, cut the hard nuts there, aren't they? Back to Ramiro, back to West, look away handball, he could feel Robbins was there, well done. Robbins down the line to half forward, and Edwards, who's got a bit of spring heel in him, belts it over the line against Wiggins for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, it's a good play, Tyson Edwards. Very athletic, pretty much underrated player, Tyson Edwards. Had a very good season last year. You saw his athleticism there against Wiggins, who's quite a taller player.
Clark just slipped through his fingers a bit. Garlick's short kick. Jarman took it well. Good handball, Rashudo. Well, I say good handball. He found Rashudo, who was under the pump, but he had no other choice. Eagleton had to keep his nut down and keep his eyes on it. Terrific pressure, and I think he's a bit lucky here, Eagleton.
I do too, Bruce. He backed himself to try and break the tackle, and the tackle just a little high, according to umpire Brian Sheehan. But, gee, when you do that, Graham, surely you run the risk of being penalised for not getting rid of the ball.
You do, but there's one of those golden rules. You have to put the tackle beyond doubt. And a player like Nathan Eagleton, he's not particularly tall. You have to take him around the hips. Mark Bickley's played a fair bit of footy. He would know that.
Wiggins off, replaced by Murphy.
Basically on half-time, Neil, because we've only got a few seconds remaining. This will probably be the last kick. And Eagleton getting distance, hooking a bit, and has just missed. So, a good quarter for the Doggies, I reckon. Into the breeze, they were able to outscore the Crows, and they lead by 2 points here at half-time.
Well, just a lot more efficient with their use of the ball. Their endeavour was good for both quarters, but they used the ball a lot better, finding their key forwards a lot more often.
So a few more goals in that quarter, but still a low-scoring half, isn't it? At half-time here at Footy Park, it's the Crows 3-6 and the Bulldogs 4-2.
Good evening. A 29-year-old Parafield Gardens woman has been found not guilty of the murder or manslaughter of the man she stabbed to death. Jodie Bean admitted killing Stephen Platt, but claimed it was an act of self-defence. She said she stabbed Platt, fearing he was about to kill her. And an amazing escape for world champion Michael Schumacher at practice in Melbourne today. His Ferrari ended up a crumpled wreck against a concrete barrier, but Schumacher was able to walk away. Well, that's it from the Adelaide newsroom for now. Have a good night.
Life is changing so fast, it's scary. But you only get one chance. So what are you waiting for? Get into it. Aim for a better future today. Buy that house. Renovate. Stop watching. Start doing. Anything is possible.
Come closer. We'd like you to meet someone. Wilkins here is preparing for a major presentation. The whole company is depending on him. Just next door, they're depending on Epson's range of state-of-the-art imaging equipment for perfect colour time after time. So who would you depend on? Epson or Wilkins?
The circus is coming to town. If you're looking for an awe-inspiring night of entertainment for the whole family, this is it. Direct from sellout shows across Europe and the US, Canada's famous Cirque Éloise is now set to delight Adelaide audiences. Spectacular aerial performances, electrifying energy, brilliant comedy, live music. Eccentricus by Cirque Éloise, live at the Festival Theatre. Tickets selling fast. Book now at Bass.
Cars, 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 and more cars.
At the Hilton Motor Company.
Where all you pay is $4,999 with GST included.
Or $25 a week.
Hey, you want a big car?
Want a little car?
What about a family car?
A wagon?
Want a sports car, a van, or a ute?
Want a four-wheel drive or an eight-seater?
Hilton has them all at $4,999 or $25 a week.
Choose from over 100 vehicles.
At the Hilton Motor Company, 289 South Road, Mile End South.
$4,999 or $25 a week.
That's cheap.
Come play netball, soccer, cricket and indoor beach volleyball at the Camden Beach Sports Centre. Camden Beach Sports Centre is the one and only indoor beach volleyball centre in SA. Suits people of all ages and abilities, anyone can play. The game gets faster as you get better. And for you guys out there who like a challenge, come join our men's competition. Nominate your team now. And when you're done having fun, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere at the beach bar. Come on, get your friends together and join in the fun at the beach without the sun.
When it comes to choosing a health insurance fund, what's really important to me is security. Oh, and a wide network. Who knows? I may want to move interstate one day. Yeah, and someone who really cares. You know, looks after people. That's important. They're just a few of the reasons why I feel a whole lot better with Medibank Private.
I feel better now.
Half time here, and the Bulldogs with a narrow lead, a couple of points over the Adelaide Crows, and just going through their routines here. Still haven't used liver up to half time. Now, the other match being played tonight, two teams that can't make the semi-finals. In fact, this is the only match that's not alive in terms of semi-finals. It's the Saints and West Coast. Let's have a look at highlights of the first half.
Not a lot hanging on this game tonight, especially as far as this competition is concerned, but one thing's for sure, both sides are very keen to notch their first win for the season. Crash down towards the half-forward line for the Saints, and a hurried kick is long by Aaron Hamill. Hamill bends it back, and he's got the first goal of the night.
And let the Saints off.
Turnbull, incidentally, is off, and coming on is Daniel Kerr. And this snap looks long in towards goal. It bounces through for yet another one. Oh, Pickett and the boys can do no wrong. Haynes and Co combined down towards centre wing. This is Daniel Kerr, just come onto the ground. Kerr looks towards Wirapunda. Wirapunda breaks the boss tackle. Brilliant. Gives it away beautifully now. A chance for Jones. He's heading towards goal. There's no one at home. He needs a cone bounce, and he's got it. Eventually out wide, it's Delaney. Slaps it in towards the pocket. Harding waits for the bounce. It doesn't come his way. Picked up by Moore. He's right on the boundary line. This one is Gem. And it is a gem. Oh, welcome back. Morrison bursting out of the pack. That's better. Now they've got a chance. Perhaps the youngster can cap it off as he chips in towards Wirapunda. Going across the face of goal. Wirapunda, round he comes.
Oh,
Chip
great
short.
kick.
Great vision. Wilson for number 3. No mistake at all. This has been a good game for Troy Wilson.
Sandy Roberts there saying a good game for Troy Wilson. If you don't want to know the score at half-time, look away now. Bulldogs joins us. Pretty good game here, Mark, and you've got your noses in front.
Yeah, very close and very competitive, so it's a good game.
What's the theme for the Bulldogs for this year?
Oh, I think, Bruce, the last 4 years would be stage 1 of the Western Bulldogs when we're able to gain a bit of respect back into the club. And now what we've got to do is really improve on everything that we've done and really aim our sights higher than what we have before, and that's what we'll be focusing on.
Bit of a change in your policy too with the draft this year. You went very much for youth, didn't you?
I think the last 2 years, Bruce, that we've gone for youth, and there were some difficult decisions made early with the way we were going to get into the draft early to get some quality players, and we've been delighted with the crop of young players of 18 and 19 years old that we've now got on our list. And I think some of the signs are starting to show through that they're going to be good senior players for us.
And what about your future at Colonial? Because you probably, as much as any other club in the competition, have made an enormous investment in Colonial, haven't you, by playing so many games there?
Yes, we have, and last year there were some initial problems, but look, we've been delighted with the cooperation that we've got now from Colonial Stadium. The fans will find that it's a lot more welcoming in season 2001. Our members will find that the traditional membership ticket, gaining access and a seat, has been returned. So I think we'll have an excellent year there. It is very important for us that Colonial Stadium works. It worked last year, but I think we can make it work even better. And I just encourage all of our people to really get behind the stadium, because it is probably the best stadium in Australia, without a doubt. And, you know, we really enjoy playing there.
Well, every club is pushing for memberships at the moment, and you're right in there at the moment too, aren't you? So you're hoping, what, for just over 20,000, is it the aim?
Yeah, we'd like to aim for at least 20,000, hopefully 23,000. We need all of our members to get back on board. We really like to capture that western region of Melbourne. It really is a captive market for us. We're doing a lot of work within the community, and we're hoping that that will pay off. And, you know, I really encourage people to get behind the club, because it is important for us and important for the region.
And there's the number, Mark, 039680 6100. Good luck for the rest of this match and for the rest of the season, Mark.
Thanks very much,
Terrific.
Bruce.
Mark Patterson, the Chief Executive of the Bulldogs. A break, and back with more after this.
Ever get the feeling
Where? Plain as day.
someone is deliberately trying to ruin your day? Well, for this team...
Oh, my God.
someone definitely is.
She's incompetent.
I know the guys are blaming us.
Now the claws are out.
She's stupid.
And the game's never been more serious.
Quick.
Can you uncover who's doing the dirty work? Who is the mole? Wednesday, 7:30 on 7.
Oh, tôi đến Old Trafford bởi vì tôi phát giác ra một tiếng động rất là kỳ cục ở cái máy xe của tôi. Nó kêu tích, tích, tích. Tôi nói cho họ biết điều đó và họ bảo là cái bộ phận tappers đang có một chút trở ngại. Tôi cần cái xe của tôi sửa trong một ngày, nhưng họ chỉ sửa mất có vài tiếng đồng hồ thôi. They are that good. They understand.
Trade and save now at Harvey Norman. Turn your old electrical items into dollars off new ones. Get $200 trade-in on rear projection TVs, $100 trade-in on 68 to 80 centimetre colour TVs, digital video cameras, fridges and freezers. $50 trade-in on 59 to 63 centimetre colour TVs, mini systems, hi-fi VCRs, DVD players, dishwashers and washing machines. $40 trade-in on microwave ovens and any 34 to 51 centimetre colour TV, and $30 trade-in on dryers and mono VCRs. Now's the time to upgrade during Harvey Norman's massive trade and save promotion.
This is not, I repeat, not how to burn a CD with an A&R computer. Here's how you do it. Get a U-Butte new super powerful PC with a CD burner installed, plus a 17-inch monitor and a colour printer and a scanner, internet connected, and stacks of software all ready to go for a sizzling $24.99. $24.99 with a burner. That's hot value at Port Adelaide and Melrose Park.
Jive gives you the best. NSYNC.
The Prince of Darkness returns to Australia in an exclusive concert event not to be missed. Alice Cooper is returning to the stage with his theatrical and debauched stage show that's seen him pack arenas all around the world. Alice Cooper, the undisputed godfather of shock rock, is on his way as part of the Brutal Planet World Tour. Proudly presented by the International Touring Company.
Nobody keeps Adelaide more informed about the world around us, because nobody knows Adelaide like 7.
Beautiful night. It was 26 degrees at the start of the match, expected to get down to 14 later tonight. So perfect autumn weather here. Graham Corns looking at half-time. Nothing in it really, Graham. In fact, the Bulldogs, I think, into the breeze there, did really well in the second term.
Well, encouraging signs for both coaches because the endeavour's been there. Bulldogs have been a bit cleaner. They've had a lot more of the ball, but strangely enough, haven't really been into the 50 any more times than Adelaide. In fact, 10 less. Scott West worked really hard, pushed the ball forward. Now, this is that contested mark. Wiggins running back. Probably had enough of it for the umpire to say, yes, it's yours, but two sets of hands on it. But he did well, he's kicked the goal, and that really set the pace, or set the tone for the Bulldogs in that second quarter.
Smith pushing forward, and the move of Johnson to the wing, and then Jarman, this was one of the highlights of the first half.
It was, he intercepted that ball, and some good work from Richardson under the ball in the goal square to pave the way for the goal.
So Jarman at half-back has been one of the big stories of this opening half, hasn't it?
But just watch this. There's some good work here. Ball bounces. Chris Grant taps it beautifully to Romero, who'd been sensational throughout the first half. And a nice Rovers goal, just dropped it onto his boot. And the Bulldogs were not comfortable winners. And certainly 2 points in front at half-time, but they'd be happy with that after their first quarter.
Yeah, 4 goals to 2 in the second quarter into the breeze. So I wonder what the match stats will tell us at half-time. Do they tell us the tale, do you think, of this opening half?
I think they'll tell us that the Bulldogs have won the ball more often, and you can see quite clearly they have. Their efficiency has been similar. more marks, but they do that. They go short, they use the shorter player. Inside 50, I can't quite work that out. Adelaide 10 times more, 26 to 16. They haven't been efficient at all. They've only kicked 2 goals. Bulldogs have kicked 4. So
I remember you saying early in the match, Graham, that the Crows were about 9 to 2 inside 50, and they weren't putting it on the board at that stage. So since that point, it's been fairly even, I guess, inside the 50.
And I think in the second quarter, the Bulldogs actually had a bit more of a presence in the forward line. Their key forwards stood up, and Adelaide are just turning the ball over too often when it goes inside 50. Adam Richardson has had his opportunities. He's playing like a nervous player, as though this is his last shot. He probably needs to be given a fair crack. He could have kicked a couple of goals out of the 7 that are being scored, so I hope Gary Ayres does persist with him, give him a chance.
So we thought it'd be close, and that's what it is here at half-time. It will go either way, that's for sure. 2 points to the Bulldogs. A reminder about Sports World on Sunday morning with Joanna Griggs and Dermot Brereton. Just check your local guides for details of the coverage. 9:30 normally around Australia Eastern Summer Time, and 9 o'clock in South Australia. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be back with the second half right after this, and we're looking forward to it.
Tonight's 7 News weather update comes to you.
Good evening. Sunny and mild to warm in the south again tomorrow, but pastoral districts north of Coober Pedy may be in for some thundery showers. On local waters south of Brighton, southeasterly winds will ease temporarily in the late morning. North of Brighton, expect afternoon and evening sea breezes up to 17 to 22 knots. In the city, we can look forward to a warm and sunny start to the weekend, up to 28 degrees. Slightly milder Sunday, we're looking at 26 and mostly sunny.
What happened to Brendan's party?
Brendan's dad? Where is everyone?
Out or in bed?
Smells good. What is it?
Teriyaki stir fry.
I forgot these.
Thank goodness you're here. Sam?
Yum. Hey, Mum, I can do this.
That's good. There's another packet in the freezer.
Create a teriyaki stir fry in 15 minutes.
Thanks, Mum.
Let's get ready to rumble! Adelaide, are you ready for the final showdown of the season? See Dumsney, Marge and Green take on 20 of Australia's best in the South Australian Sprint Car title on the fastest dirt track in town. And there's Junior Sedan, Super Sedan, Street Stocks and Am Cars.
Y'all ready for this?
The South Australian Sprint Car title brought to you by Protec Paints, Speedway City, Supple Road, Virginia. Time trials at 6, racing at 7. Be there!
I'm Gamaling Pen, and this is my supermarket. I'm too busy running it to find good staff. So I use my local job network member. Joe, how's those chooks? They know me, they know my business, so I know I'll get good applicants. So next time you're looking to hire staff, try Job Network. It works for me.
Get working with Job Network. Call 131715 for your local members. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government.
Cunningham's electric hair clippers, $9.99. 2 sliced toasters, just $14.99. Have a look at this great looking iron for only $16.99. Sandwich makers, also $16.99. Add some colour to your kitchen. Cordless kettles, $19.99. Powerful hand blender, $19.99. Rechargeable electric toothbrush, absolute bargain, $19.99. Wet and dry hand vacuums, also $19.99. Grab a 4 sliced toaster, $19.99. If you want a bargain, think Cunningham's.
For 23 years, the Cork and Cleaver restaurants have tempted guests with the finest of steaks and mouth-watering seafood. Now they proudly present the Cork and Cleaver Spice, a succulent 300-gram Scotch fillet cooked to perfection, smothered in mild hot pepper and hickory, and served with a baked potato. And until the end of March, you'll receive with our compliments a jar of this unique spice valued at $8 with every order of this special dish. First-class personal service in a classic setting, the Cork and Cleaver restaurants.
Fact, from now until April 20, simply by purchasing specially marked Pino Clean packs, you could win a Volvo V70. Fact, use Pino Clean and you could drive away in a new Volvo V70. Now that's family protection.
Welcome back. What a great side here on this glorious autumn night. Temperatures up in the high 20s and the moon At least half of it shining really brightly. Gary Ayres and Brian Sando, the doctor, eminent doctor in Australian sport with the Olympic team and so many other successful teams, including the Adelaide Crows. Ben Hart also just in front of them, so he won't take any further part as we go down to Neil Curley. And Curls, your thoughts at half-time?
Well, if I was a Western Bulldog fan sitting back in the lounge room in Melbourne, I'd be pretty pleased with those last, say 5 to 8, 9 minutes where they were able to break clear on the other side and find the loose player and go down and score those last couple of goals. I just reckon at the moment that the Bullies are looking a little bit freer in their movement. They're starting to find a bit more space. They're delivering the ball very well. And in my opinion, they look the more dangerous side. But according to one of the boys, towards the end of Gary Ayres' speech during the halftime break, he really gave his boys a bit of a serve. Concentrate more on taking the ball, improve your marking, and look forward and try and find a man. But at this stage, I think the boys back home, the Western Bulldog supporters, could feel pretty happy.
So, Neil, just feeling as if the Doggies might have a slight edge here. They do on the scoreboard, ever so slight, at 26-24.
And their midfield has given it that. There's no doubt Brad Johnson, without having a kick in the forward line in the first quarter, has moved onto the wing. He had 12 possessions in that quarter, and that capped off some good work from Romero, West. Robins has been very good across half-back. He's actually shut down Adelaide's half-forward line. Simon Cox has been very good across half-back as well. So it's good to see, though, Adelaide in this quarter. They're persisting with Adam Richardson at full forward. Mark Prosciutto has gone to the forward pocket alongside him, whereas at the other end of the ground, we have Robert Murphy on the ground.
And Chris Grant's in the goal square, basically, for the Bulldogs. Looked as if there's some surveying going on there in the centre circle.
He's only just left the centre circle, that chap.
So there's McGregor and Chris Grant. So
I think he's a photographer, though, Chris.
I think this is the most important thing. This fella on screen. When you position him in a key forward position, whether he's in the goal square or centre half forward, surely the players kicking the ball down have confidence.
So the Bulldogs to the left of screen. They lead by 2 points over the Adelaide Crows here. Clark and Darcy. Darcy went really early to get rid of Clark there and then gets the handball. Johnson hard at Romero, who was one of the stars of the second quarter. Bickley just couldn't get hold of it. Darcy did extremely well, and then a little toe poke by West to get it to half forward. Crowell was strong in the tackle. He held his feet. Well done, Gallagher. First look at him. Jarman, one of the stories of the match from half-back, kicks it out wide, and in the end they did well. Sure, taking the mark, because they could have had a bit of a mix-up there with Kane Johnson.
Yeah, very impressive in the pre-season. Matthew Sher missed all of last year with driving muscle injury. Has looked very good in the early part of this year.
Cox after Rodbran couldn't quite. McLeod gets a second go. Well done to Gallagher. Gallagher's left-hand handball okay. Rodbran's had a lot of it to Bickley. He's going to have to kick quickly. West has got him. Bickley's handball away just in time. Curley held up back to West. Good handball. But Johnson, the tackle, was just as good. McLeod strolls in 45 metres out and misses. 3-7 to 4-2. Some good footy there.
Good footy from Scott West getting back. A desperate grasping hand of a Crows player grabbed Brad Johnson short. So I didn't actually see which player it was.
It's another example of it being a game of centimetres, though, Graham, isn't it? I mean, the Bulldogs looked as though they may have been able to stream away from their half-back line.
That's all it was. He just grabbed the shorts, pulled him down.
And then, accordingly, Andrew McLeod has a flying shot at goal. The kick-in goes past the three players in the area there. Hand pass back to Romero. That was smothered. Goodwin receiving from Gallagher. Then Robran. Oh, well done, Matthew. Vision, perfect. Execution, first class. Mark taken by Bickley.
Well, they are persevering with Matthew Robran as a half-forward flanker when he played at centre-half forward in the Crows premiership years. He has got so much skill, so much athleticism. His aerobic fitness is very good.
Interchange for the Western Bulldogs boys while watching. Hahn, Eagleton on the boundary, on the bench. Danny G, Contessa, Wiggins and Liberatore still.
Well, that kick from Mark Bickley has missed off to the right. So another behind registered for Adelaide. 3-8 to 4-2. Scores are level. Cox goes in towards the middle.
Gee, his penetration with his kicking has been great. Those low raking kicks.
Hard to cut off too, Graham. It's so low.
To Rowan Smith, to Dimatina, Hand pass just a little awkward for Scotty West. He played it well, didn't he? Murphy, left foot kick in towards half forward. Mark taken by Fuller. He played on. Yes, he did, according to the umpire. And now he'll be penalised. And there was no doubt whatsoever that Fuller was away.
He was, but you've got to feel a bit for him, don't you? He's been on the bench. He's on the rookie list. It was his first chance.
That was bad luck for the kid.
It was a good decision, but it was bad luck for him. Edwards is a little one to McGregor. So the Crows build here. Sher to Rasciuto. Penetrating kick for distance. Bickley, but I think the mark might be painted Cox.
Did well. Back into the pack, got his hands to it, held it long enough. Yes, Brad Fuller, he's been off the bench the last 2 games, has played really well for trying to cement his spot, trying to get off the rookie list, and just need a touch of luck. Whoa!
Ellis's high fly. Stenglein won it in the end. Robin has to search. Gets it in the end. High tackle maybe. He was a bit lucky. He could feel it coming. The handball misses the body there. Goes back to Gallagher. Gallagher in trouble. He's gone. He had too long. And Chris Grant's got him. So a couple of mistakes here from both sides. West forced to kick in a hurry. Dimartina, he needs the bounce. Still needs it. Edwards is pretty happy, I think, to see it run away.
Gee, that West boy's got a very quick football brain.
Doesn't he work hard, Curls?
But it's his brain, his ability to see the movement.
Well, he's the boy that Bruce said has won 4 of their last 6 best and fairest, and you can see why. At ground level, yes, he eventually got it clear to Murphy, then Ramiro. Ramiro's kick towards the goal front. Oh, spectacular leap at the back. Jarman kicks it away, slews off the side of his boot ever so slightly, but Gallagher able to gather just inside the boundary line. Kick it towards the middle. The ever-talented Robran runs away and then kicks with the right in towards half forward. And the marker's taken down here in front of us by Hewitt. Hewitt at right half forward. Goes in short. Good lead and a good kick too. Mark taken by Richardson.
Yes, well, they're going a long way home, but they're respecting the lead. It was a good, positive lead by Richardson. Good kick by Hewitt. Excellent disposal by Robran to get the ball to Hewitt, but that's what a full forward likes. He likes space in front of him, the ball so he can run. No chance at all for the full-back.
Richardson, the player on the mark, is just inside the forward 50. Lovely kick. Oh, that's a beautiful kick. Straight through the centre. It's a goal. That'll give him a lift.
The runner went out to Richardson and he had a wry smile. It's his first goal for the Crows. It will give him a lift. Adelaide lead by 6 points. Garlick, well done. To Dimartina. Dimartina to the forward pocket to Grant. He'll try and turn McGregor inside out and then just try and feel for a free kick. Well done, Grant. Clever.
You can't do that. You cannot do that.
Of course you can. He just did it.
What a play by Grant. He had his wits about him, didn't he? Everyone thought it was going out of play. Watch this.
You can't do that and mean it.
There was nothing else he could do.
Well done.
Back to Darcy.
But to get it back and give Luke Darcy the chance.
But when you think about it, I mean, coaches coach teams in the when they're in the pocket to get it back to that area in front of the goal. So I guess he knew what he was doing. Darcy ran to where he thought the ball might go. He was in front. The ball fell for him. So
I wouldn't call it a set play, but gee, it was clever in the end. Darcy for goal. He might have sprayed this.
Missed it.
Gee, that's a bad miss because he's normally a pretty good kick, Darcy. And the Doggies trail by 5 points, 4-8 to 4-3.
Yeah, so Adelaide have missed some easy ones. That's an expensive miss for the Bulldogs because you would normally just mark it down.
Kick in by
Here we go. Here we go.
And Clark diving and leaping across the pad. Gee, that should have been just about illegal dispossession there, wasn't it? Against Hudson. He was given the advantage. The ball knocked forward. Garlick and Gallagher, is it? No, it's Goodwin actually knocking the ball clear for a boundary thrown. Left half forward for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, good contest between those two. Garlick's had 9 possessions and Simon Goodwin has had 10.
ruck contest. Penny, the youngster for the Bulldogs, just giving Luke Darcy a little bit of a spell in the early part of his third term. Clark and Penny. Scott West. Johnson, the tackler on Garlick.
Well, he's going to be a very important player for them, Luke Penny. He had a taste of it last year, showed some great potential, but he really has to stand up as their #2 ruckman and key forward as well.
Garlick read Clark pretty well there, and then Wees his way to full forward. Grant front spot McGregor. McGregor's done a good job on Grant. Grant back to Murphy, back to West, trying to get through. About 3 hands on him. McGregor's hands were quick, and he found Goodwin under pressure, who bangs into the centre. An important ball. The punch away came from Cox. It went to Dimatina. Dimatina switches cleverly enough because Ellis is out on his own. Ken Stevens worry him out of it. Ellis in the pocket, brings it back to full forward. Good mark, Jarman, beautiful hands. It'll be paid. Boy, resurrected at 34 years of age as a half-back flanker.
That tested the hammies, that one too.
And so McGregor gets it and then wobbles it wide, and Clark takes yet another mark. I've lost count as he gives it to Sher into Stengline. Goes back to Johnson on the burst. This is a good sign for the Crows.
Johnson straightens up and then kicks with the right in towards full forward. Ball spills to the back of the pack. And the Bulldogs playing the percentages back there. Kingsley Hunter looking for the safety of the boundary line. Eventually finds it. Andrew McLeod trying to bullock his way through. Unsuccessful. Left forward pocket for Adelaide. Scoring chance for the Crows. They lead by 5 points. Up high was Robran. Gathered by West. Handball to Dimatina. Now wider still to Curley. Curley goes out towards the wing. Out in front of Garlick and Goodwin. And it is in that area of the ground that it will be thrown in.
Scott West, 8 kicks, 11 handballs in just over 2 quarters of football.
Crows have added 1 goal, 2 in this term. Bulldogs have kicked just 1 behind. Darcy doing the ruck work at ground level. Opportunity there for the Bulldogs through Fuller. He was unsuccessful in gathering. And Clark, a high kick. Crowell it was, in towards the half-forward area. No mark taken. McLeod, attempted kick off the ground there by Bickley. Not all that successful. Robbins appealing for the free kick, but the umpire will call for a ball up. Just forward of centre wing, favouring Adelaide. Between wing and left half-forward. Pretty good crowd here for this match. Not a lot resting on it. I think you said, Bruce, that the Bulldogs have to win by about 4 goals, and then
Brisbane have to win.
Brisbane have to beat the Blues in Brisbane. Chance for Crowell again. He's at left half back. Looks down the ground, delivers, but only about 1 out of 10 for that. The kick was all right, but it was all over the Bulldogs and Scott Wester's mark. Darcy running from the middle of the ground, kicks the Bulldogs into their forward half, and the mark has been taken by Hudson, and we've become accustomed to watching Paul Hudson convert from these opportunities.
Well, he had space outside him. He used the space well, and the kick was absolutely superb.
That's another mistake that could hurt the side by Crowell on that occasion.
He just can't get carried away with his run and his dash curls. He just has to concentrate on disposal first.
Very good kick of the football, Paul Hudson. Lobs it up and lets the breeze do the rest. It's a goal.
Up to 70,000 thoughts every day. Eyes which can differentiate between 10 million different colors. Hearing that detects frequencies between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And 656 muscles, 17 of which are moving when he smiles. When we develop digital technology, we know who it's for. LG, life's good.
Of a goal like that.
Doggies in front, just by and behind. It's 33-32 here after Hudson's goal. Darcy and Clark. Clark got it down. Bickley tries to crash through. Doggies on top, and again a ball up.
How do you boys see the enlarged circle working?
I think it's a good idea. I think that anything that can go towards protecting players, just continuing in the game, I think is a great idea.
It works if the bounce is consistent, goes straight up. If it's not, it's not good at all.
Free kick, I think, to the Dogs here, to Ben Harrison in the back at half-back.
Bruce, the quarter is way past the halfway mark. Johnson yet to add to his half-time tally of stats. Gallagher doing a good job against him on centre wing.
Hunter. Good point, Robbo, because Johnson was a driving force for the Doggies in that second term. Now Clark off and Bigland's on for the Crows. So still a low-scoring match. Perfect conditions. And goals very hard to come by. Robin's been a star. Gets it to Stevens. Stevens' kick clever. Out wide. Sure needs the bounce. He's got Johnson inside. Finds him. Johnson about 70 metres from goal. Where's the lead? I think it's Rashuto going. Mightn't get that far. Good effort in the front there for the Crows. Back to the Roo. He's got Bickley outside. Bickley, 49 out. Then squeezes it short. And gets to Laddams. Now he kicked a goal from maybe a couple of metres closer than this at the other end, but this is slightly into the breeze. This really would test his penetration.
Well, he made a mockery of us in the first quarter.
Don't say us, Graham, it was you.
Sorry, he made a mockery of me in the second quarter. When we questioned his penetration, this will test it.
Oh, we'll stay by you in the trenches when it gets tough, don't you worry. So Laddams, can he put the Crows in front here? Behind would level it up. He gets close to the man on the mark as a good kick off the boot.
Good kick.
It's going and going.
Oh.
It didn't make it, and the ball comes out. Boy, that was close. Robbins in the back pocket, straight to the line and finds it.
Now, why wouldn't the Crows have a person either contesting or blocking there?
Well, somebody has to be at the front of the pack.
You'd think so.
I tell you what we found out, though. Chris Laddams is a pretty good kick for goal from about 50 metres out.
Well, he is penetrating well.
Boundary throw in just inside the forward 50 for Adelaide. Ramiro, Ellis, wide. Johnson's got two to beat. Ball hits the ground. Sting line combining with Gallagher. Gallagher goes into the pocket.
Okay,
and Laddams has got it again.
Do it again.
Well, he'll get the distance here because the player on the mark is probably less than 40 metres from goal. Just a little less, but about 38 metres. He's got to kick the ball, about 42 to score.
Yeah, don't look around. Just go back and kick the goal. He's had a bit of a look here. Just watch. I don't know.
He doesn't punch the ball, though, Graham. He more or less lifts it a bit and it dies at the end.
But let's not be negative. His form in these first three games.
I'm not being negative.
He's won the ball very well, in fact.
Let's see if it goes through the leg.
Well, this is Laddams. Kicked a goal already. It's a pretty good kick.
That's better.
It's a very good kick. Natural left footer, beautiful.
So Laddams with a couple. The Gallagher move on to Johnson's been a big one, hasn't it? Gallagher able to win that ball with the help of Stengline, and Laddams on the end. So the Crows by 5 points. Goodwin gets it. I think the free kick, the advantage is given to Goodwin. Gets himself into a bit of a tight spot and then sprays it wide. Robbins takes a good mark against Laddams. Pushes wide, bit untidy there, and then Hunter under the pump. Comes back to Laddams having a purple patch. Kick towards Hewitt. Attacked it hard. Just ricochets away a bit. Then down low, Bickley ridden into the ground. Free kick.
Gee, was really unfortunate then, Rowan Smith. Mark Bickley diving at the ball and he took Smith with him, and just watch. Definitely in the back, but not much Smith could have done about it, I don't think.
Bickley to Richardson, got him. Well, Adam Richardson kicked a terrific goal at the start of this quarter. He had a couple of chances in the opening term, but you'd reckon he'll approach this with a bit of confidence.
Contessa on for Murphy.
Yes, Adam Richardson looks a fearsome character there with the tats and the size of him, but he is quite a gentle giant, you can be assured of that.
One of Gary Ayres' little chats was directed at him during that halftime break.
It's close. He might have got it. I think he's kicked his second.
For years, animals have been trying to tell us something.
Hey, honey!
And now they can.
Sunday. Don't fix me. I won't look at another female ever. Yo, baby.
Eddie Murphy has heard the call of the wild.
I'm cute, I'm furry, and I make 500 babies a year. Get back in your cage.
For the first time.
I'd like to go in manually. What's he saying? You don't want to know. Hello. Do a little dance. Make a little love. Stop talking to me! Get down tonight.
The smash hit Dr. Dolittle, Sunday on 7.
Well, certainly looks as though he can add a bit of flavour to the goal-kicking potential of the Adelaide Crows, does Adam Richardson. He's kicked a couple in this game. Darcy gets first hands on the ball down to Garlick, going absolutely nowhere. Adelaide lead by 11 points with just under 4 minutes left in the third term.
Eagleton getting ready to come on for Fuller.
Adelaide led this game by 8 points at quarter time. The Bullies hit back and led by 2 at half time. And right now, the Crows lead the game by 11. The advantage is with Adelaide. It's no advantage. So they'll come back. Rashudo was tackled by Robbins when the umpire was waving the advantage. But it will come back to McLeod quite near the centre of the ground. Now, Crowell, Richardson from the behind. Just a little hand on the ball there by Kingsley Hunter was important. And Richardson not advantaged there. The ball finishes over for a throw-in. Eagleton on there, you can see, at the expense of Fuller. Or push out from the ruck contest against Biglands.
Interesting
go to
tactic.
Darcy, pretty blatant.
Yeah. Wasn't subtle at all. Interesting tactics by Adelaide, though. Bulldogs are flooding back into defence, and Adelaide going forward, looking to switch the ball right across to the opposite side. They just need a bit more accuracy with their disposal going forward.
Harrison getting it in short from Darcy and then to Cox. This is the biggest margin we've had so far tonight, so it shows you how tight it's been. Just a couple of kicks in at Cox. He's kicked the ball beautifully tonight, and he finds Smith in an advantageous position. McLeod runs really hard and puts pressure on him, and the kick to centre half forward didn't have the carry. Hudson had it a long time. It's down low. It was hard for Penny in the end. Ball comes out from Grant. Hudson, handball under pressure. Curley worried out of it. Gallagher's had a really good quarter. Stevens did well, gets it to Scher. Scher's kicked down the line. Tough ball to be won. Stenglein did very well. He kept his eye on it under the pump and gave it to Bickley, who centres the ball. Crows have got numbers. Can they take the mark? Laddams has to search for it. McLeod just waiting. Gee, that's where you'd love McLeod to get it and break free, wouldn't you? He's been pretty consistent, McLeod. He's had 11 kicks to date. An even spread through the three quarters.
And Mark Bickley's been good. He's gone forward in this quarter. Matthew Robbins was very good at half-back, and looks like Mark Bickley's just slowly worked on top in
Ramiro's kick belted away. Here's Stevens coming away for the Crows.
Little kick by Mark Stevens. Advantages Biglands. He turns and then thumps it in towards full forward. Punched away by the Bulldogs defence to the front of the goals. Gathered by McLeod. Handball over the top. Chance for Richardson off the right. Doesn't he do good? Oh, it's gone all the way to the line, but marked back there by his immediate opponent in Kingsley Hunter. Hunter short. Bulldogs now combining beautifully in that full back line. Rowan Smith, a couple of bounces in towards the centre of the ground. Contessa looking to play on. Still has a player running in support, but he ignores that and goes long to a 1-on-2. And the one player was Grant, and he was too good in the finish, marking and then going short. Gee, that was a rather average kick by Chris Grant. Made good by Hudson. Hook kick over his shoulder and registers A behind.
That was a magnificent mark by Chris Grant. He's marked it right on 50 now. Most players with a breeze behind them marking on 50 would be confident enough to go back and have a shot. He's gone back. He's tried to find Paul Hudson with a very unlikely kick.
Jeff Smith starts to bring that ball through the midfield like he's done the last couple of minutes. He's going to be a dangerous player.
Certainly is. The kick in. Ellis gathered by Dimatina. Handball Ramiro. Contessa could kick a goal. He's inside 50. The left foot kick by Contessa to the goal line. Grant is there. So is Edwards. Well done, Edwards. Away goes Scher for Adelaide. Kicks it out towards the wing. The mark should be taken, and it is by Goodwin. Goodwin's got a player in support. Further down the line, it's Laddams. Laddams trying to get round onto his favoured left side, succeeds and then thumps it in towards half forward. Marking contest, Richardson up high, couldn't take the mark. That would have been a spectacular effort. McLeod, he's second possession for the corner, Andrew McLeod. The siren just sounding importantly for the Bulldogs as the Crows were going forward. Andrew McLeod there. The fans are reasonably pleased with the Crows' third quarter effort, which sees them at the last break leading by 10 points. Adelaide 6-8, Bulldogs 5-4.
And strangely, the scoring end is the end into the breeze. Adelaide a lot more direct. Some good work by Richardson in the forward line, some good work by Laddams. Bulldogs showing signs though towards the end of that quarter. It's set for a very good last quarter.
So 44-34.
Main, Australia's leading private healthcare, logistics and transport group, presents the Main Sports Report.
Hello, Australia's cricketers are enjoying a couple of days off after celebrating their win in the first test against India. Captain Steve Waugh doubts the home side will recover after their 10-wicket defeat. Kari Webb is 6 shots behind leader Lynette Brookie after the second round of the Women's Masters on the Gold Coast. And champion gallopers Sunline and Tie the Knot will clash in tomorrow's Apollo Stakes in Sydney.
We have a vision of doing things once and doing them superbly. Where we lead in private healthcare, logistics and transport, we will set a new standard in service, efficiency and affordability. Wherever possible, we aim to bridge distance, compress time, even enhance life by linking the best minds to the best technology, to the best facilities for the best outcome, first time, every time.
That will be the main difference.
The Prince of Darkness returns to Australia in an exclusive concert event not to be missed. Alice Cooper is returning to the stage with his theatrical and debauched stage show that's seen him pack arenas all around the world. Alice Cooper, the undisputed godfather of shock rock, is on his way as part of the Brutal Planet World Tour. Proudly presented by the International Touring Company.
People travel from all over the world to see the Outback. Fortunately, we have it on our very own doorstep. The Stratco Outback. A veranda, carport, patio and pergola system with exclusive design features and a brilliant high-gloss colour bond finish. The Stratco Outback is unique and affordable, and you need travel no further than Stratco or an authorised dealer.
The Rockers Monster Mart sale catalogue. Bargains throughout the store. Great savings on a huge range of products. Don't miss out. Just look at these.
5 litres of Valvoline Super Motor Oil, just $9.95.
Cheap.
Save a massive $130 on a Sony CD tuner. Sale priced at $2.99.
Now that is a saving.
Handy to keep in the car. Picnic rugs from $15.95.
Get your copy of Rockers Monster Mart sale catalogue and grab a bargain at your nearest Rockers store.
Catalogue in Sunday Mails, TV Plus.
Our no deposit, 2-year interest-free offer is so affordable. Debt collectors are only making social calls. Think outside the square you live in.
Summer stock from 23 Tony Barlow menswear stores across Australia is now in the Rundle Mall store at up to 75% off. Boss, Versace, Nino Cerruti and Polo by Ralph Lauren at up to 75% off. Only at Tony Barlow's Rundle Mall store.
At Main, we aim to link the best minds to the best technologies and facilities for the best outcome. First time, every time.
So the Crows kick 3-2 to 1-2 in that term, 6-8 to 5-4 here at three-quarter time. Really low scoring. The other match being played at Colonial tonight, the Saints and the Eagles. And that's also up to three-quarter time. There'll be a replay for a lot of states, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. So Terry Wallace, the Doggies need to win by about 4 goals here to have a mathematical chance of playing in the semi-finals. The Blues, if they win tomorrow night, go through, and the Lions can still make it, of course. So from this group, the Crows the only team out of it. So three-quarter time here, Adelaide leading by 10 points.
Well, if they go to win and win convincingly, they just have to abandon their flooding defensive tactics. I think it's got to be all-out attack. And why wouldn't you do it at this time of the year? I mean, there's games when you can flood defences and scratch a win, but pre-season, let's have a look at it. Let's play some attacking football. They've got key players in attack.
Didn't they scratch 2 famous wins too? I'm talking about the Bulldogs. They beat Carlton and ended their 13-match winning streak, and beat the Bombers and ended their 20-match winning streak last year towards the end of the finals, which end of the home and away, which in the end turned out to be a miserable final series for them, only the 1 week in Brisbane.
But eventually, it's the attacking instinct that will win the game. I mean, the West Coast Eagles had great success with basically defensive tactics, but it's almost tried and proven that the team that's got the greatest attacking instinct with strong defensive disciplines are the ones that will prevail. So you might snatch games here and there, but you've got to encourage players to attack.
They have been the spoilers in some big matches, haven't they, under Terry Wallace? They've really frustrated some very good teams.
Yeah, I think what happened last year when they won those 2 matches, in high-scoring games of football these days, it was unusual. I think that both times they won, they kicked something like about 14 goals.
Well, they flooded like nobody's flooded against the Bombers that night. That is for sure. They changed the look of it. Let's go down and join the King, because he's got Terry Wallace with him.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Well, Terry, for your supporters back home that are watching, what's your plan into this slight breeze this quarter?
Oh, look, it's been a pretty scrappy, hard-working game so far. I think both sides have been pretty hard at it, but, I mean, there hasn't been any flow and quality. What we're going to try to do is just use our hands through the midfield and try to run it, then try to kick it a little bit deeper than what we have at this stage. I thought we just chipped it around a little bit too much. Just try to get down to Grant. We brought Wiggins back on to give us a real target.
Would Johnson and Smith be in your work rate this quarter?
Well, absolutely. And Eagleton, we want him to get up into the midfield as well and see whether he can give us something as well.
Going to be a toughie. All the best. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, New, and thanks to Terry Wallace for doing that at three-quarter time. He's so forthright, isn't he? And
I don't know how you can do that. Well, coaching the team, I know it's pre-season, coaching the team, but then do a television interview when you've got obviously got other things on your mind.
Well, the girls kept his job on the mind, and he told us everything that was happening. So good on you, Terry. 6-8 to 5-4. Let's see if those plans work, or will it be the Crows' night, their first win for the Ansett Cup competition. They're in the box seat in a low-scoring game. They've got the wind behind them, they've got the crowd behind them, and they lead by 10 points. Johnson, that's Kane Johnson to half-forward. Robbins and McLeod, pretty good match-up. McLeod did well, so did Robbins in the end to have a second go and then shovel it out. West was elusive and got it to Contessa. Goes back, little lippers on, 35 years of age and all, and he releases Smith through the centre. Lovely low-raking kick, just cut off by Jarman, who caresses the ball to Robram. They're on the go if he can get up. He's got Rashudo going and going. He'll go now with a handball, but Rue has to wait. It's a wasted opportunity here. Rashudo back to Robram. He's got a couple short here, Robram. The handball over the top. Finds Goodwin. Gets rid of his man. Goes very short inboard. And Laddams, well, he could go from here.
Some good protection from Mark Bickley. It was messy from the Crows. The handball from Matty Robram making Mark Rashudo work for it, but they controlled the bouncing ball, and some very good work from Mark Bickley to clear a path for Simon Goodwin. And Chris Laddams, I'm enjoying watching him play. He's got another opportunity to make us eat our words. Sorry, make me eat my words.
Hudson off and Fuller on while all this is happening.
Gee, this will take a good kick. He's kicked 2.
Oh, good boy.
It's a good kick. It's close.
Oh.
And belted through. So he's had 4 shots for goal from 50, and the 4 of them have been very straight. Yeah. The official attendance tonight is a good one, 20,169. So a good turn up here, remembering that the Crows really were playing, I guess, for a fair bit of pride and a bit of form. They couldn't make the semis.
Yes, and they haven't seen much of them, but they're away in the country the next 2 weeks, so that first home game is going to be well waited for.
Cox again goes short. The mark is taken by Contessa. He goes out wide. Eagleton. Terry Wallace mentioned that he wants Eagleton to be a key player in this last term. The kick just a little bit to the right. Not the delivery, perhaps not what Eagleton was looking for. Fuller into the action. Garlick off the left. Bounces awkwardly in the pocket. Johnson. Handball, Robrin. He's got a teammate in support, and that was McGregor. McGregor's kick goes out wide. Goodwin does well, combines with Biglands. Biglands in towards half forward. Just a little awkward there, and the Bulldogs back there in defence. Curley got the hand pass away to Harrison. Harrison goes to Ramiro. Ramiro into the pocket, and the marker's taken there by Simon Garlick.
Pretty hard to stop those when the half-forward flanker's got some space outside. If he uses the space and the kick is good.
Very poor delivery by Biglands, Graham.
Bulldogs still very much in this game. 11 points in arrears, and we've got 15 minutes left in the match.
Difficult kick. No, he's opted off. He's opted to pass off.
And he's got the ball back to Nathan Eagleton, who...
On his right leg, on left leg up, got the advantage.
And I think in the second term he had a shot at goal from just about this position on the ground. Right on half-time was it, Bruce? And I tell you what, it wasn't such a bad kick, but this one not getting the distance. Oh, high flyer and jumping early down there.
Chris Grant,
Chris Grant giving away the free kick. So away go the Crows. And the ball already out on centre wing. Biglands combining. And Hewitt has been awarded a free kick for a high tackle.
So Hewitt at centre wing, kick to half forward. Biglands the target, did well defensively. Just searching for Eagleton, and he has been busy in this last quarter. Contessa to West. He's forced to go wide to Harrison, a natural left footer, so the right side for him. Penny and Stevens. Stevens went early, cleverly. Sher's been okay since coming on. Edwards, quite his sort of game. Robin's been a bit of a star in the centre square. Looks up, not too sure, and then delivers to Richardson. Couldn't quite mark it, goes to ground. Chance for Laddams. Will he take his man on? He doesn't. He just kicks a goal. He's kicked 3 beauties. Have a look at that. Well, he's got a bit of personality too, hasn't it?
I wonder if he can kick, Bruce. I tell you, has he got any ability to kick the ball?
Well, one of the things, I mean, he couldn't get into the Bombers side last year. Now, I'm not surprised. They're a pretty good team, but he's a good pickup.
Yes, now look, 2-on-1 here, and Chris Adams doing what every good left-footed crummer should do. Scouts the pack, looks at the goal, no doubt about that, and gives somebody the serve. Not who, not sure who.
Oh, Graham, just a puffed-up young fella. Have a look at this after he kicks the goal. He knows it's going through. Watch this.
We're not sure who he's talking to. Maybe someone in the crowd was giving him something, but...
Might be you, Corns. He might have heard your comments early in the match.
He sharked it well and he kicked it beautifully.
And very important for Adelaide to get the first goal of this last term. Eagleton dragged to the ground and the umpire decides to ball it up. Underneath all that is Fuller. Just forward of the centre circle. 17 points now, the advantage for Adelaide. And Richardson with a couple of goals and Laddams with 3. Very important players in this game. Jarman gets the handball back. Mark Stevens, a bit of an up and under off the left boot, out on the full. So the free kick will be taken down here in front of the Adelaide Crows interchange bench by Adam Contessa. It goes short to Fuller, but ignores that and kicks it high, very high, in towards half forward. Big punch away. Rowan Smith tries to keep it alive for the Bulldogs. Gathered by McGregor. McGregor across his body out wide. Harrison and Curley. Bit of a misunderstanding. Harrison able to get the hand pass away. Scotty West maybe to tidy it up. Gets under it a little, but Rowan Smith is out there with plenty of space and can take the mark. Plays on quickly. Kicks it into the pocket. And disciplined play by Sher over Garlick. Knocks it clear for a throw-in.
Robbo, if players like Johnson, Smith and Eagleton can't get the run through the midfield this quarter, I don't see the Bullies winning this game.
They are in a little bit of strife. Eagleton has had a couple of touches, but not able to break away at the moment.
Gallagher, he did a terrific job in the third quarter for the Crows. To Risciuto, to Biglands. He's an interesting player, Biglands. Can make a blue or two, but then he just keeps jumping up. The ball to half forward. Kane Johnson's been good. Pushes it out in front. Risciuto still with Rue. Risciuto unloads for goal. Hunter did well, and Hurton, no, he's picked himself up. He must have felt that the goalposts were pretty close, but he kept his eye on it. Gives it to Cox. Doggies need a goal in a hurry, don't they? They're 3 behind in a low-scoring match. It's taken them a long time to get 5 goals. They need 3 in a hurry.
Hudson getting ready to come back on.
And they're not going to get their goals going wide around the flanks. They've got to take a chance and carry the ball through the half-back midfield area and hit full forward.
Boundary throw in. Darcy doing the ruck work. Scott West gets the handball away. Johnson goes to Contessa. Contessa through the middle. Kicks it across the half-forward line. That's a mark.
Class.
That's a mark. Well done.
Yeah, Matthew Shearer, they've been waiting to see this kid. There's big raps on him.
Well, he controlled the footy, then kicked it into the middle. Taken by Contessa. Nearly run down by Bickley. Away to Scotty West. Short. The kick is all right. And the mark has been taken by Grant. Now, if the Bulldogs are to win this game, you would think that Chris Grant has got to kick this one. They trail by 17. Chris Grant, the opportunity to bring it back to 11 once again.
Yes, intelligent football by Scott West. When he looked forward, he looked up into the goal square. There was nothing but Crows players. Chris Grant made the lead just forward of half forward. It was a short kick. It was accurate. And Chris Grant
directly in front of goal there, Graham.
No excuse for this one.
Scott West, 26 possessions. Grant goes for goal, and he's popped it through. Beautiful kick. You wanted to see the style, there's the style of a star.
Up to 70,000 thoughts every day. Eyes which can differentiate between 10 million different colors. Hearing that detects frequencies between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And 656 muscles, 17 of which are moving when he smiles. When we develop digital technology, we know who it's for. LG, life's good.
So the captain gets his second.
Wiggins replaced by Hudson.
So Hudson on for Wiggins, and the Bulldogs certainly close enough here. Brad Johnson without a kick since half-time, so they do need him to shake Gallagher off here and try and get involved. Off the ground from McLeod to centre half forward to Smith. Robbins tucks it under his arm.
Played well, Robbins.
To Darcy. Tries to unload, doesn't really get hold of it, kicks to centre half forward. Hudson made the contest with Rashudo, back to Edwards. He's a good mopper-upper, Edwards, and he did really well there to come away. Kick it wide to Robran. Just had to stretch it a bit. Worried out of it a bit by Cox to Darcy. Cox might have just pulled up a bit short there. The kick to Garlick. Sure. Good Sure. And a boundary throw-in. Rather, that was Crow and a boundary throw-in.
I think Luke Darcy fell for Terry Wallace's instructions, just going long to a contest when maybe with a little bit more vision he could have held onto it for a little longer. He wasn't in any great panic to get rid of it.
Biglands and Darcy work forward, Contessa, and then Jarman cleverly in the end.
Murphy on for Ramiro.
Yes, now Murphy's interesting, isn't he? A young fella's put on something like 10 kilograms over the summer. Extremely quick, and he's been able to do that without losing any of his pace. So he's going straight on to Andrew McLeod. Let's see how that contest goes.
We may get a little look too, Graham, at Daniel Gian Siracusa, who is preparing to come onto the ground. Robran nearly tackled, but got his kick away. Important possession here. Well done, Harrison. Backed himself. And no fumbling there. Murphy to Hunter. Hunter towards the wing. Contest here. The Crows will get clear. Johnson. Handball over the top. Edwards from centre wing. Vision all right. Delivery okay. Rashudo goes bang. And goes bang for a goal.
Clark replacing Biglands.
So the respective captains, Grant and Rashudo, with the last 2 goals of the match. Crows have got a pretty cushy lead late in this game now. There's still about 8.5 minutes remaining, but they're 3 kicks in front. Bickley's been very good. That one he had to spray a bit coming from Goodwin back to West. Speaking of being very good, as West kicks to Grant and Hudson and Garlick. The ball comes to Gallagher. Gee, what a game he's played on Johnson after half-time. Out wide, Stenglein had to wait a bit. Still Stenglein through centre half-back. Crows with nice build-up again to Rashuto. Kick backwards a bit. Edwards getting heavily involved in the last quarter. Rodman wants it short. He spots McGregor. Good mark. Plays on. Doesn't really know where to go. Laddams pushes it forward. Gets to Ben Harrison. He has to spray away to centre wing. A one-on-one. Terrific mark by Edwards, who really has lifted in the last quarter. He's having a little purple patch here for the Crows and takes the kick from centre wing.
Penny off for Ellis.
Tyson Edwards with the football. Goes back and then kicks it in towards half forward. But the Bulldogs stand firmly through the agency of Rowan Smith. He goes short, finds West.
Go Danny.
West out wide. Gian Siracusa. First touch, well done. Got the ball to Fuller. Fuller goes for goal and pops it through. Well done, the young boys there.
So they hang in, don't they, the Dogs?
Yeah, Perry just replaced Hewitt.
So Ian Perry on for the Crows. Bulldogs refusing to go away here. Liberatore wide. Next goal becomes pretty important, doesn't it? Chris Grant. Crows get it, you reckon they're home. If the Doggies get it, it's anyone's game. Contested a fall forward. Gallagher, what a second half. Brad Johnson without a kick. But that one cut off. Back to Ellis. Bangs to Johnson. He's going to get a kick. Well, a little push. He didn't take the mark. Off the ground, Fuller. McLeod are behind. Desperate stuff.
Yes, Brad Johnson puts his hand to his head. He knows he should have done better. Just the push in the back at the vital stage as he was about to take it just caused the fumble.
Hasn't touched the ball since just before half-time.
No, he's one player that has to live for him.
So the Crows hanging on to that lead. Clark did well there. He just got them out of the road to McGregor, to Rashuto. Kane Johnson's been a good player. His stats aren't big, but he has not wasted a ball.
Johnson with the ball on centre wing for Adelaide. Kicks the ball in towards half forward. Marking contest, no contest. Matthew Rodman's got the ball within scoring range, and he should go back and kick the Crows' 9th goal.
And you've got a player like this playing on the half-forward flank. He's going to do this from time to time, just drift across the front of the pack. And he's big enough and strong enough to play any key position on the ground.
He's about 6'5" in the old, isn't he?
He's a big man. Not as big physically, perhaps, as he has been. The Crows have gone more for running than size in their bodies, but he's a dangerous player with a magnificent kick.
Well, he goes from 50 and puts it straight through the centre. Beautiful kick. It's a joy to watch, isn't it? A big man goes back, knows with all the confidence in the world that he's within range, and just kicks it with such relaxation and got over the goal line easily in the finish.
Well, Ian Perry doing the hard work, taking the front spot, keeping the pack at bay, and the big man drifting across the front of the pack. It's a good skill to have, but the kick is magnificently executed.
It's been just about the Crows' best, hasn't he, Rodman? 63 to 47.
Certainly since quarter time, Bruce.
Can't quite understand why Ramiro is off. He's normally very good in these tough situations.
They're giving Libero a run, I think, Curls.
So Clark just timed it a bit better than Darcy. In fact, a whole lot better. Then kicks to full forward. Richardson was at the back. Rodman lurking. A little handball of beauty. Laddams on his wrong side. Ooh. It's close. They like it. Has he kicked 4? He has. Well, say Robin's the best. This bloke's not far behind. He's got 4, but Robin did get it over the top to him. He's got all the party tricks tonight.
Well, it's been wonderful coming. Just watch Matty Robin punch away, but Matthew Robin where he should be, in front. And very quick hands. Chris Laddams there. He's a left footer, but he got it onto the right boot. Got it high. That was the secret. Got it high, got it in the air. The slight breeze did the work. 4 goals.
Well, pretty good performance by Laddams. 4 goals out of 10. And when you're 22 points in front, you've kicked 4 on your own.
That's not correct. That's a bad decision.
Well, that's the technical holding rule that they're enforcing this year, Coles.
Darcy goes out wide and Contessa is marked. He's on centre wing. He'll kick the Bulldogs. Well, I thought he'd kick the Bulldogs into attack. Gathered his own kick from the smother and then went into the pocket. So not really to the Bulldogs' advantage there, because Contessa's first kick would have at least kept the ball in front of the goals. Now they're deep at left half forward, about 65 metres from their goal with a boundary throw in. 10-9 plays 7-5, margin out to 22 points. And certainly with only 5 minutes left, you would think that Adelaide will win this game. Scotty West again, 29 possessions. Kick mark by Darren Jarman. Between the back pocket and centre half back, he goes across the full back line and finds Gallagher. Gallagher kicks to, well, nearly his immediate opponent in Rowan Smith.
He had the choice of 2 Adelaide players there and just picked out Rowan Smith.
Smith kicks in towards the middle. Liberatore kicks to a 1-on-4. He had no hope, Chris Grant. Chipping in front is Andrew McLeod. Handball away to Rashudo. Rashudo, who kicked a magnificent goal earlier in this term. Out wide to Bickley. Some old hands combining there, wasn't there? And there's another one of the experienced campaigners in the Crows camp, Matthew Robin. Just allowing the ball to trundle over. I think he'd be reasonably pleased with his effort. That goal that he kicked has capped off a pretty good game from Matthew Robin. 22 possessions and a goal just a few moments ago. Liberatore tackled by Bickley.
Gets it to Cox. Cox out wide to Chris Grant, so playing deep for the moment. Tries to find Darcy, cut off there. McGregor's been very good.
Yeah, he's got great hands, Bruce, and very safe in his marking.
Stenglein to Stevens, to McLeod. McLeod, beautiful kick. Oh. Well, Richardson should have taken it. Will he kick a goal? He's kicked a point, but it was a lovely kick by McLeod.
What sort of hands are they?
Yeah, but Curls, I think what's happened is...
Don't make excuses, Graham.
I'm just explaining why he's dropping the ball, Curls, if you give me a chance.
Well, what was wrong? What was wrong?
He's just too tense with his hands. He's worried about his marking. He's just got to relax, let the ball come to his hands. You know, strong shoulders, strong arms, but soft hands.
He's an AFL player.
You're a hard man, Curls.
Not quite.
He's an AFL player.
He's trying to be, Curls.
Well, hasn't played a game yet.
Cox to Harrison. You two blokes should do a radio program. Harrison at half-back. Kicks the ball to centre wing. How'd you like to be a Crows player in this town?
No, thanks, Bruce.
God, you're under the pump 7 days a week.
Dear.
Liberatore to Smith. Ranging kick to full forward. Johnson, well done. And then arrogantly plays on and gets us hit after half-time a goal.
We give you South Australia.
Where do I begin?
This is one of the great times on the river.
A magnificent view.
Fantastic.
Adelaide's Channel 7 presents all new episodes of the program that covers our state. Discover, Saturday, 5:30.
It was a secret landing in Australia long before Captain Cook. For the first time, this mystery is recreated for television. Little Dove, Big Voyage. Premieres Saturday, 6:30.
Penny replaced by Hunter.
Well, thanks, Curtis.
Sorry, Hunter replaced by Penny.
Well, we're just watching Brad Johnson run away, and I'm sure that he'll be aware that the young fella he tried to run away from is not the sort of person you pick out in the Crows lineup you mentioned earlier, Graham.
You'll know next time he's the second quickest player in the Crows lineup other than Andrew McLeod.
The ball at half forward for the Bulldogs. Very necessary now that the Bulldogs, even if they are to lose this game, that they just keep going all the way to the line. There's 2.5 minutes left. They trail by 17 points.
Gee, they've made a good contest, but I guess the things Terry Wallace has to work on is just their efficiency in bringing the ball forward.
Umpires found a free kick once again out of the ruck contest, and this is going to be a little confusing for fans, I'm sure. Darcy, the recipient, kicks to a 1-on-3 again, and the Crows will come away. McGregor does well, and then throws it on his boot. I reckon his vision was excellent there. Got it out wide. Goodwin on centre wing, streaming forward. Left foot kick by Goodwin is not bad. At least it was into space for Richardson. Gathered by Rashudo. Back to McLeod. McLeod in towards half-forward. Beautifully weighted kick. Made it absolutely impossible there for Contessa to dispossess Mark Stevens. And well done by Andrew McLeod. It will be Mark Stevens that will shoot for goal.
Byrne replacing Johnson.
It's Andrew McLeod in the pressure cooker environment of this last quarter when the game has been here to be won. He really has stepped up. And Mark Stevens, running down from the back pocket where he's played all the game, does like to kick a goal.
From about 35 metres, and Mark Stevens kicks quite emphatically in the finish, and no real chance for the breeze to take effect there. It just went straight through for a behind. So Adelaide 10-11, Bulldogs 8-5, 18 points the margin in favour of Adelaide. Down now nearly into the last minute of the game.
He's kicked the ball in really well tonight, Cox.
I reckon he's worked on this over summer. I'm sure this is one of the things they've worked on. Not so much this time, there's too much air in this kick.
And plenty of Crows players out there as well. Reading it, Goodwin on his wrong side, kicks to full forward. Free kick against Richardson to Penny. Short kick, Robbins, been pretty good. West outstanding. Back to Robbins at half-back. Kicks to centre wing. Good mark, Darcy, running backwards, not easy.
Yeah, well done, Danny G in Syracuse, though. Called him in, let him take the mark.
Cox through the centre. Kick to full forward. Johnson, the target. The belt away at the back was very effective from Crow. Centre half forward for the Doggies. Lever down low to Fuller. He's kicked one in the last quarter. He's kicked two. The post. Yes, 2 goals. Well, that's going to help him, isn't it? He's on the rookie list. He's got to make every post a winner here. Somebody's got to be injured and put on there for 8 weeks for him to get a game, but he's done all right in the last quarter.
He's played all 3 of these Ansett Cup games. He's come off the bench. He's done his job, and well, it's intriguing whether they should be able to play rookie players in the Ansett Cup. It seems to be an exploitation of their services. If he's good enough to play Ansett Cup, he's good enough to be on the list. And he's done his job today.
Now, this is what I don't like about this rucking. You watch Darcy will come in front here now and take the man's run, and it gets awarded the free kick.
Well, he did get the front posse, and he got his right hand to it, but it's Edwards that will tidy up. His kick smothered off the boot, but running right through the middle of Football Park is Darren Jarman, and have a look at that. The delivery, you would just be like the cat that got the cream, wouldn't you, if you were leading out to a Darren Jarman kick streaming down the ground. The siren has sounded. It is the end of the game, and all Adam Richardson has to do is, well, from a personal point of view, go back and kick the goal. And if he can get 3 in this game, I'm sure he will look to the future with a great deal of confidence. It's a pretty good kick, and his return hasn't been too bad. He's kicked 3, and he, along with Laddams, the leading goal kickers, Laddams 4, Rashudo a couple, for the Bulldogs 2 each to Grant, Johnson and Fuller. And in this Ansett Cup match, much to the delight of Darren Jarman, Adelaide come out well on top. 11-11, 77. The Bulldogs 9-5, 59. A margin in the finish of 18 points.
Well, it was a good contest all day. The Bulldogs didn't stop trying, and they always give a contest. But Adelaide, particularly after half-time, just a bit more efficient. And when the game was in the balance, players like Goodwin, McLeod, Rashudo did step up, and they just had a bit more penetration, I guess, and direction in their forward movements. Just a few more people to kick to. Richardson provided a target, make no mistake about that. Laddams was good.
Yes, they got 7 goals between the 2 of them. They're 2 pre-seasons. Let's go down to Neil Curtis with Darren Jarman.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Well, Darren, different end of the ground tonight.
Yeah, it was couple of weeks ago, Gary said, write down your favourite position. I put half back, so maybe, yeah, it's just good to have a bit of freedom and attack a bit more.
That's the first time in AFL VFL time you've played half back, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first game.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's obviously try and keep your man quiet and then try and run off when we got the ball.
How do you see the team this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, obviously a bit more experience from last year, but we're still learning a few little tricks, and you know, we're just about there now. So it was competitive for 3 quarters last week against Carlton, and today I thought we had to go for 4 quarters.
Matty Clark gave you a bit of a start tonight.
He's had a full pre-season, obviously, and yeah, he's set for a big year, Matty.
Good win, all the best.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks, Neil, with Darren Jarman. So Darren, first time at halfback in his career.
Yeah, and looked very good. I mean, he attacked the ball very well, and when he got it, he used it magnificently. You may see more of him there.
Well, interesting, isn't it? Having a bit of a joke there. McLeod with Johnson. The Crows by 18 points.
It's the one thing in life you should never, ever do. Get cheeky with Cornelia. Monday, get set for a showdown.
Don't you know what a toupee is?
Because this man is going to put Cornelia in a very, very bad mood.
Michael, why Gillian?
She was reminding me of you.
Really?
Will he end up hearing?
Goodbye.
Or end up winning the lot?
Very attractive artwork.
The Weakest Link, Monday on 7.
At Maine, we aim to link the best minds to the best technologies and facilities for the best outcome. First time, every time.
Thoughts every day. Eyes which can differentiate between 10 million different colors. Hearing that detects frequencies between 20 and 20,000 hertz. And 656 muscles, 17 of which are moving when he smiles. When we develop digital technology, we know who it's for. LG, life's good.
The Lion. The burger. The beer. The deal. $8.90. The Lion, Melbourne Street, North Adelaide.
Our hearts were always open to members of the royal family, and none was more popular or busier than the Queen Mother, seen here in March 1958. First stop, a civic reception at the Town Hall, suitably decked with bunting and overflowing with invited guests in their autumn finery. Then on to North Terrace, laid out in a carpet of flowers, before the first official duty, opening the new hospital at Woodville, named in honour of her daughter, Queen Elizabeth II.
This Adelaide Memory is brought to you by Adelaide Bank. Adelaide's Bank.
Louder than ever, rock's uncompromising legends return to Australia. Deep Purple. Deep Purple. Loud, live, and ready to rock. Book at the usual outlets.
Nobody keeps Adelaide more informed about the world around us, because nobody knows Adelaide like 7.
Taking you to a new dimension. 7 Digital.
Some happy faces there. The Crows winning their first match this season in the Ansett Australia Cup competition. Good finish for them, wasn't it? 5 goals in the last term, 4 to the Bulldogs, but in the end, Adelaide, and by 18 points, 11-11 to 9-5. And the 2 men they picked up in the pre-season draft kicked 7 of the 11 goals between them. Laddams with 4 and Richardson with 3. Now, the ladder from this group, the Crows can't make it, and neither can the Bulldogs now. So it's all down to tomorrow night between Carlton and the Lions. The winner of that match will go through to the semi-final from group number 3. Now, the other match tonight at Colonial between the Saints and the Eagles. Let's go and have a look at some of the highlights from the second half.
Milne, too far out for the youngster. He's asked Spider to do a bit here.
Oh, no way.
No
way. No.
Oh, that's one of the goals of the year, and we haven't even started. St Kilda looking pretty sharp. Everett takes it from Justin Platt. It's a long bomb towards Hamill. Here's his strength. Here's his strength. Not paid. That looks like Milne. Milne picks it up. Oh, what a goal. We're seeing some gems. Straight to Caden Beetham, who kicks up towards the half-forward line once again. The mark claim, it's not going to be paid. Widdowson applies some good work. Lenny Hayes.
Yes.
And kicks a goal. Round the body he goes, up towards centre wing. Justin Platt sneaks away from Hum, puts them inside 50 once again. The bounce all important here. Look at this charging bull. That is magical play. Callaghan, but the goal belongs to Hamill. No doubt about that.
So if you don't want to know the final score between the Saints and the Eagles, because there is a replay coming up in some states of Australia, look away now. Those teams can make it through to the semi-final stage. Neither of the teams tonight, but the other 6 matches that are going to be played on this weekend are all alive. So tomorrow we've got the Kangaroos are playing Collingwood, and before that Geelong are playing Port Adelaide, and then Brisbane will play Carlton, and Sydney are playing Essendon. And those 4 matches all tomorrow. There's a telecast of all of those games somewhere here in Australia. And then Richmond and Fremantle, and also Hawthorn and Melbourne on Sunday. And each of those teams also alive with a big chance. So a lot of permutations. The only 2 matches now that are straight out are the Kangaroos and also Collingwood. The winner will go through, and Brisbane and Carlton the winner there. But tonight it was the Crows by 18 points over the Bulldogs. Good night from Footy Park.
The 2001 Ansett Cup, proudly brought to you by Ansett e-Check-In, coming soon to Adelaide. LG, life's good. And West End Draft. It's the pre-season, and the Ansett Cup presents new challenges. For many, it is a new hope, a new life, a new start, even new players. Welcome to round 3 of the Ansett Cup.
A magnificent autumn night here in Melbourne as we welcome you to Colonial Stadium for this round 3 Ansett Cup clash between St Kilda and the West Coast Eagles. Neither side as yet has been able to register a win, so it's very important for both coaches and teams that tonight at least they can get 1 win on the board before the AFL season proper gets underway at the end of March. Nice to welcome once again one of the champs of the game, my first night back, and he's been champion of the bit, in fact running the show. Jason Dunster, welcome Jason, and a big night for both sides because a loss tonight is not going to help their confidence at all.
No, you're right, Sandy. There's, look, on face value, not a lot at stake tonight, but you hit the nail right on the head. Malcolm Blight would love to get a win under his belt just to get the confidence up at St Kilda, and Ken Judge is not without pressure over at West Coast. There's been problems there as well, so he needs a win.
Let's have a look at the results. Firstly, for St Kilda, they have not been humiliated by any stretch of the imagination, but I think, and in all fairness, the St Kilda Army maybe jumped on the bandwagon a fraction early. It is going to take time.
Well, look, the list looks a lot better on paper, but they've been competitive twice. A lot of their stars aren't playing tonight. That's one of the problems. We know that there's no Harvey and know Hudson, Garrick and Lawrence, a couple of the big recruits. We'd love to see them out there. But look, it gives us an opportunity to look at some of the other younger players. Brett Voss we saw, and Craig Callahan, another couple of pickups. So, you know, there's a lot for them to prove tonight as we take a look at the list. We've highlighted a few. The Andrew Thompson now, best and fairest last year, vice-captain of the club. He has to assume more responsibility.
You should mention, Jason, too, sorry to interrupt, but out of the original squad goes Sean Charles. Barry Hall is not playing tonight, and neither is Jason Trinides.
Well, that means Peter Everett probably has to play forward, doesn't he?
Future Flyers.
And in our Ansett future flyer tonight, we're looking at a young man who had what can only be described as a dramatic start to his Ansett Cup campaign last year. In round 2, Caden Beetham suffered a burst appendix. It then became infected, and he managed to eventually in the season put together 9 games, and really he did show us a bit, didn't he?
Well, those 9 games were enough for us to get excited about Sandy. Very handy player. Look, he can play in the midfield, either end of the ground, has very good skills, and expect to see him pretty busy tonight.
West Coast Eagles, too, have suffered 2 losses in their Ansett Cup campaign today. The Kangaroos accounted for them pretty easily, and Collingwood, courtesy of Josh Fraser, with that last goal of the match, just sneaking home by a couple of points.
Yeah, probably a painful loss last week. They led for most of the night, and then Collingwood led by Mick Malthouse, returning as the villain on the scene last week, wasn't he?
Where does West Coast at the moment lie? Here we are, 13th last year, and a disappointing season. They're still bringing in a crop of new young players. Is there the depth there at the club, you think, or is this really a continuation of the rebuilding program?
Well, there's always been that perceived depth there, but perhaps it's not as good as we actually think. As I mentioned earlier, they are under pressure. David Sierakowski, he's going to be very important for them. Michael Gardner, can he take that next step and become the premier ruckman in the competition? Drew Banfield, he's one of the old stalwarts that instead of just doing a job these days, also gets plenty of the ball. And David Wirrapunda, great to see him as one of the vice-captains, fully fit and ready to go, and he's probably the most exciting player on the list.
Yeah, he, in fact, will be leading them out tonight. There's Michael Pryor. You're probably used to seeing him in red and black.
They look so different, don't they?
They're going to fool us tonight, I'm sure, but he's headed home like a number of players for the West Coast Eagles, including David Sierakowski and Michael Collicker. We'll take a break and then return to Colonial Stadium. It's the Saints up against the Eagles.
Sunday, Eddie Murphy has heard the call of the wild.
I'd like to go in manually.
What's he saying?
You don't want to know.
Hello. Do a little dance. Get down tonight.
Stop talking to me! The box office smash Dr. Dolittle, Sunday.
Dance with me. He prepares methodically. Do you mind? Perfect. There's a ritual that he follows. You're very pretty. Don't play hard to get. This man's whole life is about killing. This will be fun.
Don't hurt me.
He mailed me a picture of her still alive.
James Spader, Marissa Tomei, Keanu Reeves. The Watcher.
In cinemas from March 1.
Plasflow, 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 Plasflow. Help you give your lawn a drink, keep your flowers in the pink, or simply fix a dribble or a leak.
Which pump to suit your tank or well?
How to design your water feature.
The way to save time and money watering your garden.
PLASFLO.
Everything for home irrigation.
And here at Mile End,
they're open for you 7 days a week. Plasflow.
I reckon their personalities are even better than mine. Their teeth are perfect. They're in better condition. They can certainly run a lot further than me. I'd say they've got a better diet than I have. No wonder my goat's not as shiny.
Pedigree Meaty Bites keeps your dog fit 5 ways for health on the inside that shows on the outside.
Looking for a home loan? Then call Great Southern Loan, because the best local home loan just got better. By depositing your pay into your loan, you pay your home off sooner. You can still access your money anytime, over the phone or the internet. And you get our fully optioned, low standard variable interest rate. with no ongoing fees. You won't find this flexibility at a bank, so talk to a local business about the best home loan in town. Call Great Southern Loan now for a free brochure.